whole week I went to all the ladies' night in the city to
figure
out what ladies' night means. Turn I knew at all. Like zero names I knew when I started doing stand-up. Even not even the names who were in Bangalore. Randomly went to an open mic, saw this bunch of people. Kanan Gill, Kenny, Navin Kumar used to be a name there. Sanjay Manaktala. It was like the first wave of comedians in Bangalore.
How is it growing up in Chennai vis-a-vis a Bangalore environment?
I think it's one of the first jokes I wrote, right? I used to introduce myself as I come from the small town in Tamil Nadu called Chennai. So that's mostly about it. No, in the sense the intention was different. That back then we didn't have the courage to go and talk. That like our only idea of being in a relationship or like expressing that hey I like you was to be in the vicinity somewhere so that the girl will notice like why is this guy always in the vicinity, but hopefully like have the courage to call us like you and be like hey what do you want, and then we are like now we can say with the hope, just that hope, like there was no, it was very common in our school. I think like even the
How do I lighten the whole atmosphere?
I don't know. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
do it differently.
Hello, hi. Welcome to Attitude Makeover by Saujanya Shetty. I am the guest and I am starting the podcast because I don't know, she's not doing it. We have been waiting for a long time and I'm bored. I want to start it off. Hi, please welcome me now.
Thank you so much, Quadrant Man. I actually, first time I saw your comedy thing was the Quadrant one.
Okay.
And then I started going and looking at all your stuff.
Like most people.
And I felt like I wanted to know you. And so this is why we are here.
Good.
In the whole conversation, it's to get to know you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Like I think I mentioned previously also, this is the first time I am on a podcast as a guest. And I'm so glad it's with someone like you and not like 22-year-old Bombay dude sitting in a beanbag going like, yo bro, welcome to our podcast bro,
I can be as bad as a 16-year-old as well.
At least like one person is better. And from a Bangalorean is even better.
Yeah, that's true. You're old Bangalorean.
Right now I consider myself as a Bangalorean, but I'm basically from Chennai.
From Chennai.
Born and brought up in Chennai.
How is it growing up in Chennai vis-a-vis a Bangalore environment?
I think it's one of the first jokes I wrote, right? I used to introduce myself as I come from the small town in Tamil Nadu called Chennai. So that's mostly about it. Contrasting, I guess, both the cities in a lot of ways.
You did state, ICSC, CBSE?
State, pure state.
Okay.
And then I studied in Coimbatore. I went to college in Coimbatore.
Okay.
Which was probably my first exposure to living outside in a hostel. The college I studied also was a comparatively chill college compared to the schools I went to. Like Chennai schools and colleges is like a nightmare.
Why?
I don't know if it has changed now.
Why?
I don't know. They had too many rules. It's almost like a prison. Girls and guys weren't supposed to talk.
Huh.
People got suspended because they were seen talking to
boys,
another
is
gender.
it? Oh.
I was almost suspended, luckily. Luckily, I scored enough so that they couldn't suspend me. But all kinds of atrocities, like people were beaten up, like I think that was very common back then. I don't know if things have changed now, but the schools I went to and all were like horrible. Like, That used to be like that was the whole selling point of the schools. Some of the schools, matriculation state board schools, was telling the parents like, you send your children, especially girls, like we'll take care. We'll make sure like she's not approached by any man. Wow. We'll be the cops. They'll be like, their virginity will be intact. That's the whole selling point, and people fell for it. Like two selling points was like the decorum and the all these rules and regulations being followed. Second is like they'll score centum in all 8 subjects.
Wow.
There were only 6 subjects, but they were like over promising.
So you had moral science and all that also.
Moral science. I don't remember. I think not exactly that, or something related, environment science.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise general 5
and
subjects.
And this knitting and all you'll have?
Nothing. There's nothing called extracurricular and all in our school. Maybe like once a year, one annual day, I used to participate in those dramas. Sports also, like 2 sports they will have. Like the whole... I'm telling you, I studied in some of the shittiest schools you'll find in India.
You didn't play sports growing up and all?
I did. That's what, again, like the school, the sports were decided based on the area of the school. The ground itself was like probably like what, like this Koramangala 80 feet road with like 100 feet another side. So the sports I used to play were like mostly Coco, which is like very space friendly sport with like
So we had round cocoa and the straight cocoa.
straight Coco only. That much space they had because they also didn't have the width. So like the first school, the longest time I studied in that school, which was like mainly Coco, like, and they would take you till probably like zonals and division. The other school was even worse. Like they will have like they will let you play cricket once in 6 months. That was all that it was.
So my school we had some, not a great school and all, like state only, state syllabus.
In Bangalore.
Huh. And my school had this round cocoa and straight cocoa, hockey. They had something called baseball, which is not like the baseball that you're familiar with in the US, but like our own version of baseball. And then we had this dark room. So if you get punished under the stairs, there is one dark room.
Oh my God.
They would put the kids inside the dark room and lock you for a few hours.
ICSE school.
In SSLC.
SSLC.
So now we have a school WhatsApp group, and some of the boys normally write, I was in the dark room. There used to be rats and cockroaches and I don't know what.
I'm actually glad that Bangalore also had such
Yeah,
horrible schools.
And then hitting and all used to be with not one ruler.
Oh, they will take like this
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
hit it here. Dude,
They'll pick the bones over
I've
here
gotten
and
those
like tuck.
beatings.
And
I've gotten those beatings.
they would tear the books.
I really, really hope things have changed now.
Yeah.
But I knowing Chennai, I don't think much has changed.
Did you guys go through something like that in school? Really? Even you?
Are you guys from Chennai as well?
The Rajasthan, Kerala,
Okay.
Kerala. Oh, same, huh?
But I was in North as a South Indian, so I had my decent shares of
Racism as well.
bullying, racism, and like cold discrimination.
You know Hindi, yeah?
I know Hindi.
Shut up. Okay,
That's where this conversation is starting. How can you betray the South?
national language, don't you know?
Sorry.
Yeah.
We have to cut some of this.
You have to say sorry to who also? To the universe.
No, so that used to be a lot. But nowadays it's not there. Like my daughter is 17. I remember when she was 6 or 7, when she was born, one of the rules I had at home was no hitting, no screaming, no scolding. You should know how to talk to the child. And
I don't think you have a choice in this with this
no,
generation.
it can get extremely difficult to do that, right? Because they'll give you ample amount of moments to get into that whole.
But do you also get scared of the legalities of it? With this current generation, I think things are a little sensitive.
But she would watch all this. Back then, she would watch this Dora the Explorer and all that, and she would say, "Don't."
Try to hit me.
Yeah, I will call. What is that? Some service she used to call. We would be like, "Yeah, oh yeah, you think we have that?" BBMP.
I don't know. I don't know who saves kids in Bangalore.
Yeah, nobody. Actually, when there is violence, I have noticed people just like to watch it. No one comes in, no one steps in to really.
But schools are a little sensitive now, right?
Yes. I don't know about bullying though. Like this kind of hitting and all, yeah, I don't think teachers also can.
Yeah, I
do
think
it.
everything happens just not from the teachers to the student. Students do everything amongst themselves, I guess.
Yeah. Were you bullied?
Probably not. Not so much.
Yeah, me neither. I think it was such a sadhu school.
I don't know what was bullying back then in our kind of schools and all.
Yeah.
I was always this, the guy who stands behind the guy who bullies other people so that I don't get bullied. It's a great space to be. Like the silent guy who's like, just like this hype man on the right.
So you were trying to fit into the cool group.
I would say yes or no. I've never tried to be cool, but I used to be the silent guy, like who will be part of all the notorious stuff, but not as the first or the second guy. I'll be the third person so that like I don't get suspended or
But you are witness to all.
I was witness. I sometimes used to participate also, just like very silently.
What is participate silently? Please explain that.
Dude, sorry. What do you call? Dude,
Bro.
it, whatever. Once what happened is like 8th standard or something. Like I said, our schools were so strict. Especially the male teachers were horrible.
Okay.
A lot of them were drunkards. Come with a hangover the next day. Just because they were so hungover and pissed off, they just like beat up kids for no reason, and like some of them we hated a lot. And our kind of rebellion was this. Someone came up with this idea where like the teacher would like come half asleep. He would like sit there on the table after 30 minutes of class. He would just take rest. And we used to like have ink pens. We used to destroy the back of his shirt with like full on ink with like on that white shirt, yellow shirt, and this kept going on. Like we used to do it with majorly like 2 teachers, I guess. Happened like almost for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then like one day finally we all got caught.
Oh.
Like last period, he figured out like this is from this class only. He had doubts because at the end of the day he got scoldings from his wife for coming back home with like such shirts. We got caught and kind of figured out like 4 or 5 offers were doing it. And honestly, I was one of the culprits. Good thing was I also like used to score good ranks and whatever. So like when 5 of us got caught, like the principal came or some PT teacher came, I was kind of slowly excluded. Like, oh, why is he here? You sent him.
Oh.
But I still feel guilty about it because like a couple of my best friends back then were dismissed from the school.
Were dismissed.
Dismissed, yeah. Like I think that was the criteria, right? You have to be well behaved plus studies or the top, and then like if you study well and notorious second, and then like if you have neither, you're like no mercy for you.
Yeah.
They were like
I think a lot of times if you didn't study well, they would automatically pull you
in other stuff. It kind of happened.
Yes.
Like guys like who are just witnesses to it, like they have got an opportunity to send them out, they actually sent them out.
Yes.
So
I had a classmate. So my mom, single parent, mom and 2 girls. Mom used to go to work. So from school, we used to come back and hang out in the teacher's house. So lunch used to be in the teacher's room because I would really struggle with eating. So she would sit next to me and ensure food is over. And post school, we had to hang out in her house. And there's this other classmate of mine who was known as a notorious boy. Mm-hmm. And so one day in school, he showed me how this is a convent school. So it's mostly nuns. So we didn't have male teachers. And she used to wear this white gown. And he used to tell me, you want to see how many days she wears the same dress without washing? And I was like, yeah. And
you also used to
4 or 5 days.
Okay.
I used to wonder how can, but we never, I don't think we got caught. But it was very interesting to see how many days the ink stain remains the same in that white gown. It comes back.
When we got caught, like I remember like people used to hit. I have seen like literally one teacher like will start hitting a guy, slapping, continuously slapping, take him on a tour around the classroom.
Shit.
Continuously slapping and come back, like bad in a way.
The worst one I've seen is we had this red book or star book or something. I don't remember it properly. But there's this black star and red star. And if you get, I don't know which star, but if you get too many of one of the bad stars, then they used to ask girls to donate dresses. Mm-hmm. And the boys were supposed to wear those dresses. Sorry, I'm laughing because it's still funny. For one who's gone through it, I don't think it's nice.
Everything is funny in hindsight. It's okay.
Exactly. So they used to wear these dresses and they have to go to every class in the school and talk about what I did wrong and why I deserved this. In hindsight, I think that's the worst thing you can do to a child, especially a boy. But I've seen these kind of it's worse than corporal.
I still think Bangalore punishments are cooler. They're not very direct. We used to have this punishment where like when a guy is like notorious or something, the punishment was that he would be made sit in between the girls' tables. In this side 2 girls, this side 2 girls. I even had a joke about it. It's like, how was that a punishment? Like, why was I feeling embarrassed about it? I should have been very happy and glad. But like back then, it was like if someone was made that way, he would get bullied by other guys.
Yeah, teased about,
I think that was the whole idea. Yeah. We used to have punishments like that.
So how was Hostel then when you moved to Coimbatore?
Hostel again was great for 1 year. second year, again, we were sent out of the hostel. We got caught for ragging.
You were part of ragging.
I was.
Oh,
Uh,
do tell
this time,
more.
like college, like everyone was studious, so I wasn't like given any mercy. So a bunch of us were sent out of the. I think like second year, first semester we got moved to another hostel, and the second semester, the fourth semester again we got caught. That time we were like move out of the hostel. So 6 months we stayed out, and the next year they gave us an option to come back to the hostel. But by then we were like so
You're so
comfortable
used.
living outside. We were like, hey, we're fine. We told our parents they're not letting us in. So the last 3 years were like we stayed in like Bachelor pads, in Coimbatore, which was some of the funnest times.
Coimbatore is a fun place, is it? Or because I've met quite a few interesting. I've had a few guests from Coimbatore. They grew up in Coimbatore. They studied there, or did their engineering there. Very interesting.
Coimbatore, like I think it's almost as conservative as Chennai.
Okay.
But considering it's a tier 2 city with the expectation you go, it's actually pretty cool. Like
Okay.
And especially the college I studied, like compared to the schools I studied, was much more liberal, not like the other engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu, especially. So that way it was good and had some great friends. It was overall fun. College life for me was like the first life changer for me. Like gave me a lot more exposure. So that way it was good.
When did you have your first alcohol?
College first year.
Got caught?
From who by who?
So my first cigarette was in engineering. Like my classmate, somebody, her relative or someone came back from US or Dubai or something. They got this thin menthol long cigarettes, and all of us were given one. 2 days, everybody went back, tried, and I couldn't try still because my mum is very strict at home. So finally one day she was in the garden, so I went to the kitchen and I lit the gas thing with the lighter. So when you light the gas with the lighter, it makes one tick 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 sound. So my sister was in another room, got curious because I don't go to the kitchen at all. So she's like, what the hell is this girl going to kitchen? And I'm trying, I don't know how to light a cigarette, so I'm holding that on that gas cylinder. And then finally, by the time it's lit half, and I'm taking it like this in the kitchen, and my sister's like, oh, mommy.
Luckily, I didn't have that problem mainly because I stayed away from parents.
Hostel.
I guess. But still, like we used to get caught in like college. College life, like I said, right, it used to be crazy. Like I think second year I started, but by the fourth year, fifth year, and all, like, not even kidding, we would drink till 1 o'clock in the night, on a Sunday night, and then someone would say like, bro, let's go to Ooty. And we'll go to a day scholar's house, get their bikes, start to Ooty at around like 1:32 in the night, reach there at around 6, which is like 3 hours on a bike, just have one chai, at 6:30 again start, our classes starts at 9 o'clock, come back to the class, sit in the class and like pass out like crazy. And once the professor was like, what is happening here? Like, why please leave, and all that. Like, so
Mom used to pray a lot.
all this happened in Coimbatore. I think it took me some time for my parents to realize like something is off with this guy, but they weren't like I was never caught red-handed like that, like again, like I think like towards the end of my college and all, like the grades also started coming down, never attended their calls, like was completely will go AWOL for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no calls, nothing. I think that's when they got a little worried,
When did you start dating?
Dating. I think my first relationship was by end of school,
10th.
12th.
Okay.
12th standard before college. But that was like, I don't know what kind of relationship was that. So this is what happened by end of school. Like I said, like I was always this third guy, and there were like guys who are dating and having relationships and all. And in my head, like I never wanted to date anyone really, like I wasn't into that and all. But in my head, I was like, dude, like they're all doing it. I have to do something before school. So there was this one girl, like pretty looking girl, like everyone in school used to like her, a lot of crushes and all. And I was like, my idea was like I want to propose to someone. By propose, like I say, like, hey, I love you, whatever. And in my head, like if I'm anyways going to do it, I'll do it with the prettiest girl in school. Why some random girl, And then like planned it so well, so we used to have like the slam books, right, where people used to write. And my plan was I will make everyone write good things about me. I finally give this to the girl, so she'll read good things about me, and then she'll be like, at least won't slap me when I do this. So gave it to a bunch of friends. Like I still remember one guy was like, dude, I don't know how to write this and all. You wanted me to write in English also. So I remember one of the one of the entries in the slam book, I wrote about myself from another person's perspective, saying like Navin is a great friend or whatever. 3 pages of this filled up the whole book. And we used to, our last exam was I think computer science, and before that 6 days before was math exam. So last 6 days was still computer science, no one studies and all. So after math exam, this is a girl like I've never spoken to. She was in my class for 2 years, but I told about the school and all. And after math exam, I followed her, stopped her, and I was like, hey, how are you, whatever, and this thing and all. And she was like, hey, I'm good, whatever. First time talking to her, and I was like, I want you to write my slam book, can you please, and whatever. Talking for small talks for 2 minutes, and this was my idea of proposal. I don't know if you understand Tamil. So I was like, okay, enna plan, holidays, summer vacations, and she was like, nothing, vetty only. And I was like, if you're vetty, can you date me?
Oh God!
Vetty na love pannalama. That was my first proposal ever, And she was like, what are you saying? She gave me that look and then walked away with the slam book. Luckily, like computer science exam, she gave me the slam book back, and she also wrote like, hey, you're talented, whatever. I don't know much about you, but all the best, whatever. And then when she signed the last thing, she was like, with care and affection. In brackets, she wrote like, no love though. And then she signed. That was my first proposal, but I don't know. Fortunately, like we shared numbers through another mutual friend. Same thing happened. The whole 2 months we didn't have anything, kept talking, and we were supposedly in a relationship by the end of a month.
Second PU.
Which didn't last long though. Like ended as soon as I joined college, it became long distance, whatever. Yeah. And I got involved in college, so it was like the first short love.
How did Bangalore happen then?
Bangalore happened much later. For my job, technically.
So, Coimbatore was for +2?
No, until 12th was in
Chennai.
Coimbatore, 5 years I did my college.
Okay.
So
what did you study?
Integrated degree, MSc in Theoretical Computer Science.
Okay.
It's kind of like math.
Oh, it's like a MSc directly.
Direct integrated MSc.
Okay.
In Theoretical Computer Science, one of the very few places that has that degree.
Okay.
It's kind of like math with computer science. So, did that course, and I got a job in Amazon.
Okay.
Again, like whatever, I did all those stuff, but by the end of it, like luckily, like I had to get a job in Amazon because the girl I was madly in love with back then got a job in Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, and in my head, how like I was a real man. I was like, oh, that was the highest paying job at college.
Yeah.
So in my head, it's like if I don't get a job there, she won't marry me. First time in my life, I think like I slogged like crazy, prepared for that interview because I was never like this, guy who could get into Amazon and all, like as a software engineer. Helped me, like that trigger kind of helped me, got into Amazon. First job was in Chennai, Amazon. Technically, after 5 years, I moved to Chennai, lived with parents for like 1.5 years, I guess, after which the girl got married.
Oh, so you were having an affair?
This was like a one-sided love story, I would say.
From
she was
your
my
end?
best friend.
Okay.
But I fell in love, she didn't. Back then I didn't have the understanding of what was happening. I was like, oh my God, she's ruining my life. It was like a love-hate relationship. Went down for like 1.5, 2 years, after which she was like, hey, I'm getting married. Like, oh, I thought we were dating. I was like, when did I say? And my head like, oh my God, she's a bitch. She broke my heart.
Such a disaster, no?
Yeah.
Such a disaster this is.
It was, back then it was. And then I still remember like that day going back to my home, like Chennai, right? I got full drunk, went to my friends, went with a friend, had like 5-6 beers, went back
Must
home.
have been hearing
and
the
I
song.
thought my parents weren't home that day. And they canceled the travel plan for going somewhere and all. When I went home full drunk, they were there. The living room. I'm like, why are you here? I'm like, why are you here like this? Visibly drunk, and I don't know what happened. My mom was like, what happened? And I didn't want to tell them anything. And then like I rushed inside the room, like locked the door, and they panicked. They were like, Navin, tell me what has happened and all this thing and all. And then like my mom suddenly, she knew this about this girl, like we were close friends and all that. And then she figured out her only question was like, Aishu, I'm like, oh my God, what was that to hide after this? Open the door. And then she came and then I started crying like, oh my god, she's getting married. My life is done. This thing, that thing and all. I don't know. And that whole drama happened and like typical mother, she was very supportive, right? She's like, oh, that girl, her dressing sense only is not good. Why would you fall in love with her? That too, like Brahmin girls are like that only, trying to amp me up with like whatever. You thought if she'll marry you and all, how will she do it, whatever. On the side, my dad is like, oh, we'll get you married before her. At that time I was like, oh, no, not that alone. I'm not ready to get married, And crazy drama happened. But I think that was like one of my first major trigger points. Luckily, like around that time, I was like, what do I do? Like what is the point of life? And not like suicidal way, but like I think like my whole 4 or 5 years from college, second, third year till that time, I was like so obsessed with like this one person or whatever. And after suddenly I was like.
So for 4 or 5 years, you thought you were in a relationship, and then you found out.
I don't
it's
know, technically
one-sided.
not like that. We were very close friends for the longest time. I think towards the end of college and all, like when it hit me like, oh, college is no more. I think I fell in love and whatever. And yeah, it was like that. It's not like I really like was hallucinating that she was in a relationship. It was always like, oh, I was always thought like, oh, there's two guys or this, because I like the schools I came from and all, like two guys being this close and all, obviously has to be, relationship, we should end up in a marriage or something. But that was like an eye opener for me, like, oh, maybe like, it wasn't the same, maybe like she actually considered me a friend or something, and we are still in, cordial, friendship and whatever, like, but I think that was the trigger point. Luckily that time I had an opportunity to move to Bangalore as a transfer in Amazon, and I was like, oh, I'm going to take it. I'm going to move to Bangalore, and cool place. I will help me like forget all my, past and whatever. That's when I moved in 2014. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to see where was I? 2014. Bangalore. I'd come back.
I thought you were always in Bangalore.
No, I went.
Oh, you said you were in the US for some time.
So I ran away from home.
To?
The US.
To the US? Like what? How?
So I married my kindergarten classmate. One day you should do a podcast separate for this.
With your kindergarten classmate, you ran away to the US, like not with a job and all, just ran away.
I was working in Honeywell.
Okay.
And,
that is not like, I thought like in school you ran away.
No.
Getting like a ticket.
I was working in
Kingfisher
Honeywell.
Airlines or
He
something.
was my classmate in school. 10th standard I dated him. 12th standard we dated for a short period. Then post engineering we dated again. This time it got serious. Then at home they didn't agree.
It's like eloping with this guy.
Yeah, so I ran.
Okay. And what was their reason to not agree?
Malayali.
Okay. Okay. Tell me more.
So yeah, he was a Mallu. There are two Mallus here, no?
Okay.
Something about Mangaloreans and Malayalis, I still don't understand. But yeah.
I think Kasaragod is the problem.
Yes. Big part of it is the Kasaragod story.
It's like, it's like the Kashmir region of Mallus and Mangaloreans.
So I remember my uncle once coming and telling, so we're looking for a guy, if there's someone, tell me. And I was like, no, I want to study, don't look for a guy and all. So then he was like, listen, if there's someone, please do tell, it's okay. But just don't tell me it's a Malayali. And I looked at him and I asked, why? What's wrong with the
Tamil,
Malayali?
they would have been okay.
Looks like, sounded like. I was like,
You should have tried. Every week you should have gotten different guys and kind of figured out like the core of the problem.
such a strict upbringing. There were no, I remember when guys, I joined BEL first, and over lunch break when you're walking, if guys come and talk, my mom used to be in HR. So she'd call once I go back to my desk and ask, who is that guy? So then one day I went to my boss and I said, it's not working out for me. So he said, you have two choices. Either accept that and continue, or accept that this is not going to work and continue. So I chose the latter. I went and found a job, joined Honeywell, and I waited for 3 years. At some point I decided, dude, I have to decide, what is this? I'm not getting the logic behind this. It's just stubbornness. So,
Nice. And when are your parents okay now?
yeah. 1 month later, everybody was okay.
1 month later?
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
god. That's all it takes.
Yeah, 1 month later. And now I don't think you guys don't face all this, no?
They do, like, one of my friend, he got married last week. So this is what happened. He was living with his girl for like almost 5 years now.
Huh.
The girl's family didn't accept at all. They have been fighting. It came to a point now the girl with the guy's parents have been living in Hyderabad for the past 2 years. As a family only, they were like, fuck the parents and all. And like finally, like only 3 months back, he called me, said like we have gotten married in a registered office. But next month we are trying to get an actual wedding. We are going to invite her parents. Whether they come or not, we are going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And then after 4 years of drama, they went and said like, we are getting married, whether you come or not. And then they were like, no, wait, it's okay, it's okay. And then finally they changed their mind, and last week they got married with the girl's parents' approval, who still don't know that they are already married legally.
No, this is why I think when it took us about 7 years before we decided, okay, we are ready for a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like very clear, okay, there are some ground rules over here. That's why I said no yelling, no screaming, no hitting.
Interesting. Like this, one of the lines I even said in one of my reels, right? Like previous generation believed in eloping.
Yeah.
Our generation doesn't believe in eloping because we believe in inheritance. You know? So what you did was a great deal, I think.
No, it was like scary also, right? It was very scary. Like when I landed in the US first time, like I have never
because
traveled.
your husband was working in the US already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was studying there and then he was working. And so he had a job, but I was always working. I was earning from when I was like probably 15, 13 or 15. So I was always independent. So it was very hard for me when I moved to go and ask for anything. So then I think in 3 months I had a job. But I really enjoyed the US. But I didn't like staying there. I think it is a very recluse space. In New Jersey, but not, there's this, so New Jersey has one, New Jersey, India, you know, might get a lot
I
of
think
slack
every
on
city
this.
in US has a...
What is that New Jersey in India thing in New Jersey? Edison. So everybody is, it's very famous, Edison. People go there for all your weekend grocery, all your salwas, everything. It's just like you're in mini India itself, Kuti India. But I lived in this place called Eatontown. So it's like where the Marines of the US are trained and all. It's a very sort of a high-end county because his office was there and my job was also there. So for me, I really liked how I grew and changed in the US, but I didn't like staying in the US. So it changed me as a person, because after that, whenever I've come back and I've worked in India, every job, I felt I was very different in the way I think, look at things. But I still like going to the US, 2 weeks, 1 week on work and coming back, but not staying. I never liked it.
Interesting.
You stayed there?
No, I've never been to the US actually.
Oh. It's nice. It's very
But
good.
it was almost like a pivotal point in my life when I moved to Bangalore in 2014. I was working in Amazon, and 15 I started comedy. Like I said, I moved to Bangalore to be like, I want a new life. I want to explore what to do with my life. So in the first 6 months to 1 year in Bangalore, I knew I had interned here previously for 6 months, but this was the first time I had a job, nice money and all. I started exploring Bangalore. And I used to live in a bachelor's pad. Every day after office at 7 o'clock, I would go to random places. Like one whole week, I'll go and, I'll attend random calligraphy workshops, Like, one whole week. I remember like one whole week I went to all the ladies' night in the city to figure out what ladies' night means, Turned out it's the same. Same people everywhere. Like found out third day only I found out like, most of these people are actually prostitutes.
Sorry, what is ladies' night?
Even till date, I don't know. It's just ladies' night is where like they announce that ladies will come so that guys will come to watch the ladies. I think that's the whole idea of.
Basically, in clubs, when it's ladies' night, it's free drinks.
Free drinks for the women.
Okay. Like Wednesdays are ladies.
Girls will come, and boys will come, pay, tag, and enter.
It's a strategy to get.
It still happens, sir. This used to happen back then.
No,
Really?
It's hot now actually.
What do you mean hot now?
It's always happened, but now there are more desperate guys than ever. So I think like.
I think every generation there has been desperate.
No, now it's now Bangalore has become that hub for desperate guys. People from like all like Kasaragod, Sorry. I'm saying whole of India, all the small town kids, they believe that if you go to Bangalore, you'll find a partner, you'll find cool girls and all. They come here, go to roam around in JNC, Koramangala area, like every day looking like, oh, I thought like I'll get a girl here, man, and they get surprised that when it doesn't happen, they go to these clubs.
Yeah, I used to
more and
remember when I used to go for tuitions in engineering, there used to be these boys from Andhra who've moved to my college. So they would follow on a bike and they'd just follow. I don't know what you get by just following. And they would just follow. And one day I would stop and ask, so what's the problem? No, where are you available? I used to be like, what am I? A vegetable? Is
Where
it
are you
for
available?
So it used to be very weird, some of those approaches.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. That's why I know. Like,
Oh, on the bike?
Or at least, like, I know, not on the bike probably. But yeah, this used to be common. Like, even the girl I mentioned, right? 2 years, I used to like her and all in school. Never spoke. Only by the end of it, I spoke. But 2 years, like, I used to follow her every day or like almost once a week. Like, used to follow. And I don't know if it was like stalking. Maybe it is probably called stalking right now. But I think like the intention,
Maybe.
no, in the sense the intention was different. That back then we didn't have the courage to go and talk. That like our only idea of being in a relationship or like expressing that hey I like you was to be in the vicinity somewhere so that the girl will notice like why is this guy always in the vicinity? Hopefully like have the courage to call us like you and be like hey what do you want? And then we are like now we can say with the hope, just that hope. Like there was no, it was very common in our school. I think like even the girls were not like scared or whatever at that time because like it was like a very, I don't know, like a very different equation back then. Because there was no like phone or whatever, you can't get a number and start texting whatever, and you can't talk in school.
Yeah.
Once she goes back home, you
can't.
No way.
Yeah.
So the only intermediate
the
period is
walking.
like one that 20 minutes of freedom for, and sometimes the women also used to like it. Like this girl, same girl used to say like later on when we started dating, like dude, I used to like that attention. Like when guys come, like I know these are my classmates. It's safe and all that. Like it's just like that validation the girl gets. And once in a while, when the girl looks back at the guy will also feel validated. It's like, yes, he knows, Dude, random. I empathize with these guys when I said Kasaragod, Ranchi and all. I used to be that guy. I used to like, this same girl I used to like, this was my idea of like getting her attention. Like when she'll walk, and then in our school, we used to have this thing called whenever like a guy likes a girl, you shout the guy's name in front of her. Like when she goes around, like shout.
Yeah,
Navin.
Yeah, they used to do
the
this.
problem
They
was,
still do this?
Pro-
Y'all still do this? Shit, evolution has not happened in dating.
My problem was this girl was pretty enough, so none of the guys called out my name. They started calling other guys' name. I used to get so angry. Like there was a time like when she walks, I'll call out my own name. She'll like Navin, and then when she turns, I'm like, why don't do it, So I was such an incel, honestly.
But I'm surprised you'll still have it the same way. Like I thought y'all have swipe right, swipe left. You must have gone to swipe right.
Yeah, a lot. I've gone through every stage of being an incel. That's why like my relationship stuff's become a hit,
So when did you switch from bike and following to swipe right?
Sorry?
When did you switch from
Much
following?
Much later. Like I said, and then I moved to Bangalore, right? I was exploring different stuff. Like I started watching theatre and all, started going to watch plays. And one of the things I did in a bunch of things I did to explore Bangalore, understand Bangalore. I was like, I understood that city was vibrant. I didn't know why. I didn't know how, So the whole idea for that 6 months was to do that so that I can have a distraction from this heartbreak and whatever. And one of the things I did was theatre, went to a theatre workshop, acted in a play in Alliance Francaise, whatever. So that was my introduction to kind of any performance art, like professionally. Like until then, school I used to do like a little bit drama here and there, speeches I used to do, or rhetorical competitions, like narrating this Tirukural and all. That was my. So Bangalore, this happened, and when theatre group we did another play as a collective. But the problem, we tried to do a third one, but theatre needs a lot of people coming together. Like, and all the people who started the collective were older than me at that point, like 35, 40, with family and whatever. People moved countries, people got married, got busy and whatever. So we couldn't sustain as a theatre collective. And that is when I was like, dude, like this is nice being on stage and doing something. That is my introduction to stand-up comedy.
Wow.
I learned there was an open mic in Take 5. I went and saw that. I think like that time it used to have like Kanan Gill, Kenny and all coming.
Yeah.
They were in Bangalore.
Yeah,
back
they
then.
were Bangalore.
And saw a bunch of people and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. This is cool. This is like theatre, but I'm the writer, I'm the director, I'm the actor, everything and all. I think that's how I started.
But that switch from how you were in Coimbatore as a boy to Amazon and this routine that you talked about, that's a massive switch, right?
It
From
was still
taking a bike in the middle of the night to going in, participating in theatre, exploring these.
It was still, Bangalore opened me up. Bangalore changed me in a lot of ways. Like whatever I am today, that's why I love Bangalore as a city. Like, it kind of opened me up mentally and, put me in positions I wouldn't have tried myself getting into in a lot of ways. I've always been a guy like that. Get into, I've always been curious about stuff and whatever, but like I think like other places I never got that much opportunity as I got in Bangalore to interact with people, make friends, especially stand-up, right? Like the first 2-3 years of stand-up, I got some really good friends, like very kind of friends. It wasn't like this Chennai school, engineering, working in IT kind of friends. Like I started making friends with like arts grads, NGO workers, That way it was like a lot more women. The first time I actually made actual female friendships and whatever, I kind of opened my mind up, I think.
So, very crass question. In Chennai, Coimbatore, when you used to look at women, you look there or look there?
Both. I was multitasking. If I had to be honest.
Have you ever been told, look up?
No, the women also were like very timid back then, at least like the people around. Like college, like I said, like college was much more open. That's when I had actual female friendships. So, but until school, it was like, we would actually not look neither of them. Like it would be like somewhere in the vicinity, like, you should know that I'm looking at you, but I won't look at you. That was the kind of vibe we were going for, I was also like, I don't know, like, and you used to have like this very, messed up point of view of beauty itself, right? Like Chennai and all, like, like whoever is fair is beautiful. Like, so it wasn't like about like aesthetics, nothing. Like the prettiest girl is supposed to be the fairest girl, in class and whatever. Movies told us that, our friends told us that. So it was given. So I don't think like it was again like not like until school, it wasn't even like ogling at someone. It was more like, I don't know, stupidity. That's how I put it.
Somehow I found that I have told this to my husband a couple of times. I wish more women had the confidence that men walk around with.
Definitely, I guess.
Right? Because
not the same kind of confidence though. Same level, I would say. Yeah, people need it.
Explain, what is that?
Guys have like a very masculine confidence. I don't think that's like...
What's a masculine confidence?
Same thing like I said, like, walking around thinking like if she notices,
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
You're sold with that confidence. Huh?
No, I'm
like
asking
that.
if
Okay,
you're walking around and she looks at me, I'm
good.
sorted.
I'm talking about this like unnecessary confidence. Some men shouldn't have
that
so much confidence. And it doesn't help like women have the same confidence.
That may be true, yeah. So Amazon happened. How did comedy happen? Like, it's one thing to just move to Amazon, go meet new people, but to really get into theatre and comedy and...
Like I said, theatre was, first time I actually got distracted from whatever I was trying to escape
Like
from.
you went looking for a theatre, or did you know someone who took you into theatre?
This was again, like I said, right, I was doing different things in Bangalore, trying to figure out what is Bangalore firstly, and second thing was to distract myself, like a bunch of ladies' night, cryptography workshop.
You had
bachatas,
cryptography back
salsa.
then?
I don't know, I think I went like one talk about it or something, not even like a workshop.
Dude, I must have met you. This is the digital analytics community. Did you come to that?
I actually don't remember.
I ran that with
It's
a
like
bunch of
random
guys.
stuff, some random talks, literary festivals, and very randomly I'll go to different places. Like
So one vele
go
la
watch,
porca.
belly dancing.
Belly dancing
Yeah,
in
I think
Bangalore.
something happened in Alliance Francaise or something again back then. But yeah, I was jumping around things like this. But I think somehow theatre, when I saw a workshop was happening, I registered, I went there. It kind of stayed with me. I really liked doing it as well. It wasn't like something to explore, but more of like expressing myself.
Nice.
The gang of friends I had back then was like really good.
Very
Like I said, when it got dissolved, then I was looking for something that was more closer to theatre. until then I had watched like only one stand-up show in my life. I wasn't like a guy who was always grown up with stand-up comedy. Even as an art form, I didn't know it existed for the longest time. I think that time Chennai started having like a scene. It was like that Avam stand-up tamasha. Bunch of guys started. I went to the one of the shows in Chennai. That was again like 2014 before I moved to Bangalore.
Is he still there?
No.
That Evam guy?
Not as a collective, but guys from there are still there.
Okay.
Some of them still do stand-up and whatever.
Okay.
So Bangalore, when I came, like my idea was to do that kind of stand-up, which was like very Tanglish, you know, because that was my only introduction. I never knew like this Western style of stand-up. Dave Chappelle, none of the names I knew at all. Like zero names I knew when I started doing stand-up. Even not even the names who were in Bangalore. Randomly went to an open mic, saw this bunch of people, Kanan Gill, Kenny, Navin Richard used to be a name there, you know, Sanjay Manaktala. It was like the first wave of comedians in Bangalore. Went to Take 5, would watch them. Somehow I thought like that was lame, which is where this purest English stand-up of telling jokes, telling stories. I thought like stand-up has to be like colloquial. It's like, hey, macha, whatever, you know, do. So I tried doing it. I was miserable at it, you know, but I still was like, I don't know, I want to do. After 8 o'clock, I have nothing to do at office also. I'll go do these things. Started doing open mics. That's the way I think even before I got too involved with stand-up, I got a bunch of friends who kind of mentored me, who said like, hey, watch these guys.
Okay.
Watch these American stand-up comedians. That's the mecca of stand-up.
Nice.
Slowly started exploring more and more stand-up. As a fan, I started exploring stand-up. Got introduced. Like there's always like this levels of people, right? You get bored with like one person, you go to the next person. So got more and more deeper with stand-up as an art form, as an audience, as a fan. And then I was like, oh, I think maybe like I can also improve at some point. At that point, I was still miserable. I knew I was not getting the laughs. You know, my English was bad probably. I was very nervous. I used to be like bad with mostly, I would get laughs, but mostly for just like the lines here and there. And sometimes people will laugh at me for like trying whatever. Very insecure. But like I took it as a challenge at some point. I was like, hey, maybe like if I keep doing it, if I keep at it, maybe I'll be better at some point.
Yeah.
I can. And this is also a point where like 2016, 15, my plan was move to Bangalore. Amazon, if you stay in Amazon for 3 years, you get your first promotion, you can directly move to Seattle.
Oh.
So when I moved to Bangalore, that was my idea.
Okay.
Be in Amazon for like 2 years, move to Seattle. Similar American dream, but like right when I got that promotion, when I was able to move to Seattle, my manager was ready to do the, you know, process. That was my, you know, who's like the road not taken path, I guess, you know, where I was like, am I going to move to the US, live the American dream, or should I stay here in Bangalore and pursue stand-up? And I think
Oh, you made the choice at that junction. You got promoted and then you made the choice. Wow.
So that was like a tricky choice, and I was like, I want to do this. You know.
That's so cool. Did you repent it? Did you ever repent?
Maybe a little bit in between, because after this happened, like within 6 months, a guy who got promotion, I got fired from Amazon.
You got fired.
Fired in the sense they do that all that process, whatever, right? So because after that I lost my, you know, interest in this. I got more into stand up. I didn't know. I didn't find a purpose to perform at the same level, especially as a guy who used to like overperform for the first 2.5 years. There was like a contrasting difference in my performance. So my manager was very unhappy. He was like, what are you doing? So that's when I decided to quit my job. My idea was initially to try some other company. I think I worked for 2 other companies after that. Everywhere was a miserable failure. Like I jumped from Amazon. I worked in Walmart for like 3 months. Quit that job, another job for 3 months. And then I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to do this full time now, you know, because I'm a stand-up comedian by heart. Full drive was there, no direction. Just quit my job around like 2017 something, saying like I'm going to make it as a stand-up comedian, you know. And then the 2017 probably was like the worst period of my life.
Why?
Had enough savings to get unlimited old monk and gets lost every night. Forget about passion. I was like, oh, so much free time. Became a proper alcoholic, you know.
But from
depressed alcoholic.
Not accepting the Seattle job consciously to take up stand-up, to then going through this, what happened in between?
I think I wasn't prepared at that point. Like I said, like the passion, like that's what I say. Like 20s, you're stupid, and you read some random books who are like, hey, follow your passion. You don't think about stuff. As a guy who earned in Amazon for 6 years, I didn't think about it. I was like, I will quit my job, pursue, and then suddenly this fear of money. You have savings for 2 years, 1 year, whatever, and then you're like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? This sudden, like, so much free time suddenly, from working at an office for 8 hours, 9 hours, to suddenly being like, I don't know what I'm going to do with like open mics. I go like in the night for 1 hour, 2 hours, like whole day I don't know how to spend. And like I said, most time, fear, depression, or fear of future. Something happened. I was not in my good mind space. So I think it started from fear, insecurity, and depression led to alcoholism, led to being like, oh, I don't care anymore. I don't even want to do stand up. I'll just you know
Just live.
too egoistic to go back to a job also, like one very weird place I was in, like completely weird. I don't know. At one point I said I think it became a little too much. And that's the point I was like, dude, I want to take a pause from all of this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I quit my job. 1 year has gone by. I can't remember a single whole full day where I was conscious, and sober enough in that whole year. Like now I have to step back and do something. I haven't progressed in my stand up. I'm not improving. I'm not like putting my mind space into it. Because like I quit the job mainly because I didn't have the mind space to, time wise you have time.
Yeah.
You need like only 4-5 hours, but like the pressure of job doesn't let you do other things,
Yeah.
doesn't let you write jokes and all. But now with like having so much time also, I'm still not having the mind space because the mind is completely filled with that fear of like what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What if I put all my eggs in this basket and it doesn't work out? What if 5 years later I'm like a broke alcoholic, no one is ready to marry me, my parents are like, I'm disappointed of me, like all this kind of fears, right? And then I was like, forget it, I'm going to take a break. And that's when I went to Auroville for like,
We stayed in
I quit
Auroville.
everything. I said like bye-bye to Bangalore. I need to take a break from all these things. Luckily, I think like, my idea was to take a break, go somewhere, do some volunteership, go to Ladakh. I was exploring opportunities there.
To go teach in Ladakh.
Yeah, I think that was like one
There's
of
a
those
school,
options
huh,
I had.
huh.
My idea was to get away to somewhere far away, relax and take a break and introspect what I'm going to do. Luckily, Auroville happened. They had a program back then called Swadharma. It's not a spiritual program. The idea was just Swadharma was like a program for people who are in cross junctions of their career path, more of an integration of physical, mental, and career choices. So it's like a more structured program, educational program for 1.5 months for people in that age group, 22 to 28, 30. So I found that very interesting. So I was like registered to it. You have to be there for 2 months, do a project by the end of it. That kind of was a changing point for me later on. Very helpful. Some of my mentors till date are from there, and met a lot of interesting people, artists, entrepreneurs, in Auroville itself, who had been through the kind of path I was going through, like getting lost, so that you'll find something and then have like a anchor with it and go on with life. So that I think I learned. 2 months was the program. I stayed for another 2 months, chilled there, explored stuff, had time for myself, started doing yoga, taking care of my physical health and whatever, like more of a holistic living. I got an introduction to holistic living from there. When I came back, I think I was like
So in 2 months.
4 months
4
technically.
months.
But the first 1.5 months were the most intense part where the learning happened, and then another 2 months to relax and introspect and stuff.
So 3 things stood out for me. One was following your passion. I learned
That's why I always think it's a tricky term.
I learned very later that I think everybody says follow your passion. If your work and passion are aligned, you're just too lucky. Just stick around. I think it's a journey finding your passion.
True.
It takes a lifetime sometimes for people. What do you think? Are you following your passion now?
I don't know what my passion is. I think my bottom line is to be happy. Try to be as happy as possible. Try to do things that you
What
like.
do you like?
And I still don't know if I'm maybe like technically I would say yes. I like doing stand up.
Yeah.
And I keep doing it time and again to good audience. That's like my meditative process. So that way I'm lucky that I'm able to do it. and lucky that I'm able to have the time and the mind space to do it. And like, I don't think the passion starts from finding out something outside to be like, oh, this is, but I think there's more of a mental change, especially in terms of finance, right? I think that is the one that people, that's one clarity I got in Auroville as well, that you actually don't need so much money, all at this time, this point, so to secure your future, that I came back with that level. I think that helped me a lot to pursue other stuff, to be fearless about like not having a full-time job or being a consultant, doing things I like, doing for taking a pay cut to do things, different kinds of things, truly embracing that creator economy, or like, embracing the fact that, okay, this is fine. That I think that is too much in this generation also, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're like, oh my God, apartment prices are rising, education prices are rising, alcohol prices are rising, what are we going to do? We need to
prices are rising.
cigarette prices, ITC, what are you doing?
On top of that, she adds extra tax also.
that I realize like that constant fear is that, like, even people who earn a lot, not just with artists, people in Microsoft, Amazon, my friends, like, they buy a house, be like, oh my God, this house is not enough. I'm going to have another kid. How am I going to afford the next house? You go to that house, you're like, oh my God, I'm getting a bigger car now, that never ending pursuit of bigger things, and that never ending fear of if I can afford the next thing, right? When that went away for me, I still have it. You cannot completely get rid of it, but I would say considerably reduced, and started taking life as it comes, not worrying too much about, and like that strong sense of like, I'm not like that unprivileged also. Like any day, like whatever goes bad, like my parents have their own house in Chennai, I'll go there, they'll feed me. That basic kapda, makan, khana, all this is going to be there. Like once that strong sense of like, what is the worst that's going to happen came in, which happened in Auroville, I felt, because of the mentors, because of the people I met, the kind of attitude change I had there, that led to a lot of other things happening after that. Like when I came back, I was like much more open to facing life as it comes than being sitting in that insecurity of.
How old are you now?
Yes, I don't know.
Oh, this is when I walked into this. You're in your 30s.
I'm 34. I'm going to turn 34 in 2 months. 33 now.
Yeah, because for me, I went through this when I quit my Microsoft job. This relationship with money that you're talking about, one's relationship with money, no one talks to us about it. When you go through it, it's sudden panic and it's like, oh my God, what is happening? I remember switching over to too many cigarettes. The stress was too much. And it's your own expectations, your own assumptions. Nobody's coming and telling you anything. So how much is really enough? I don't think we ever sit back to ask. And I think this is something all of us
when you're in
have
a corporate, I think it is designed that way for you to feel inadequate at all points, right? Like one of my friends used to say, right, like, paycheck is man's worst addiction, like biggest addiction ever. Like we think like alcohol, other things.
Yes.
But I like, that's why when you asked, like I started from the question you asked, right? Do I repent quitting Amazon? I went through a hard period, but I think whatever I am right now is because of that. That first decision I took. So I don't really repent or regret anything. The decisions I made that time, or the process, the alcoholism, including everything. I think I'm grateful for it. Otherwise, I would have just been like another normal guy, even as an artist, right? Like I would have been like, hey, I'm successful, But now I think like last 6 years, I've lived a more holistic life, exploring things. I can talk about different things because of that, like through my experiences, through people, through the mentors I've seen, bunch of things that happened to me. Like maybe like that's one good thing, that I didn't develop myself as a comedian alone, but like as a person, comedy gave me a pathway to get into like, exploring myself and my, what I really want more.
For me, it is this.
Nice.
Yeah, so this really changed the game for me, because otherwise it was like, I want to talk to you about addiction also a bit. Otherwise it was like, I started this, but I wasn't sure what is the future. You are still in your 30s. I went through this in my late 40s. I'm going to say 50. But late
Good, more
40s.
savings. And less fear about future, because there's less future. I'm sorry.
Dude, no.
I'm sorry. Isn't it true though? I'm sorry I sounded morbid.
No, but this is a very important aspect that psyched me up, right? Like, so my family, the men tapkao very early. But the women last like really long. Long. Very long. Like 90, 100. So I realized I am going to last for another half century.
That's just again like I used to have this fear as well, right? They keep saying like, oh, medical facilities have grown. You're going to live till 80,
You have to be
90,
able to afford
100.
that.
I'm like, dude, I wasn't planning for this when I quit my job. I have like 2 years of savings, whatever. But that is again like, if you really think about it, if you think like the longevity of life has grown, it's going to be 90, 100, then there is still no point in working till, you have to keep working till 70, 80 only, which you're not going to do anyway. So anyways, 20, 30 years of your life, you have to figure out doing things that you like, you rather start doing that at 30, 35 rather than waiting till like 50 or 60 because anyways 30 years is there. Or the worst case is like you save up like crazy that by the age of 50, 60 you're sorted for like, unlimited Akshay Patra.
No. I'm telling you, this relationship with money, even if you have enough, if you feel poor here, it fucks up everything. Like it fucks up the mind, it fucks up the body, it fucks up relationships, everything. Your own self-confidence, esteem. I've come to understand relationship with money. It needs proper books and...
Books is one thing. Yeah, very interesting topic is something I think a lot. I not probably just read, but observe a lot. There is a sense of it's not enough because like new things keep coming.
Yeah.
Next iPhone is going to be 2 lakhs.
Yeah.
Next fancy car is going to be...
Yeah.
10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, whatever.
Yeah.
Like one of my friend was telling, right? It's like he lost his job and he was like, dude, I just had 2 daughters. I had twins and all. Dude, I don't know what, like it's so stressful. And I was like, you have a Jeep car, no? Sell it, you will have money. Like, dude, how can I sell that? Like for me, like, no, I wasn't even like sarcastic or whatever. My immediate reaction to his statement was, sell your car, you can like, cruise for like another 1 year, and it kind of offended him. It was like, dude, how can I sell a car?
Yeah.
My favorite car that I got for 30 lakhs 1 year back. How can you say that you ask me to sell that, to survive? I'm like, dude, but you're saying you're struggling. Yeah. It's like not that level struggle and all. It's like if you're not struggling enough, so much that you have to sell your 30 lakhs car, then you're not struggling, no? Like you have that fear. Yeah. Of the future, like, oh, when am I going to, get my next job? Yeah. Is it possible with this, kind of layoffs happening and whatever? That is the fear.
Yeah.
The action, you don't come out and tell me like, oh, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I don't have money to meet my basic needs and stuff. Like it keeps happening. People don't even notice it that it's happening because corporate has sucked them up so much. Yes. They feel like with like 2 months of missing that paycheck, 5 lakhs coming into their account, they feel like everything is gone.
Salary as an addiction will create new addiction avenues, I think.
True, lifestyle is an addiction, right? For that matter. And once you get into the job and the money and all your hobbies are surrounding that money that you're getting, you're not developing real hobbies that don't require money. That again was one of the biggest mindset changes that I had that helped me, I realized like, I have to travel. I don't need so much money to travel. If I have money, I will go to Europe. If I don't have money, I'll go to Auroville and spend like whatever. If I have money, I'll take an Indigo flight or an Air India, whatever. Otherwise, I'll take a train. If I have money, second class. Otherwise, whatever. You can find that travel with the same amount of amusement and excitement at any range. And you can find places 100 kilometers from Bangalore that I know I can go and feel like, oh, this is a beautiful place. I don't have to spend like in lakhs and book nice fancy hotels. So first thing I realized, like travel, actually good travel doesn't need so much money all the time. Secondly, again, like, a lot of other things that don't require money. That I think that even for people, right? Like some of my friends ask me like, hey, I'm already considering firing and all. What do you suggest? And like my first idea is like figure out a bunch of things that you like to do that doesn't involve money. Like, or like that doesn't involve so much money. Figure out a sport that you like to play. Figure out a bunch of books that you like to read. Now, like online, everything, knowledge is available. Like, what are you interested in? I think once that happens, like you stop. I think the second half of life after probably my age, 35, 36, now it's common for everyone. Like everyone who's trying to fire they have the money, they have the investment. Their problem is like, what do I do with this time? And secondly, what happens if this money goes away suddenly? So the whole point is like slowly, second off, build up habits, build up hobbies, build practices, routine that doesn't require so much money. Basic things you can't avoid. You need a house. And same thing for me, like if I have money, I'll buy like a penthouse or whatever. I'll rent a penthouse. I don't have money now. My avocado is 25,000 in Bangalore. I'm happy with the 25,000 I'm living in. So I don't know.
Yeah, no. This is a reel. This is a proper reel. I think this is everybody should.
That's how you do podcasts also these days. Like, this is a reel, guys. I'm going to tell you how to live your life,
Like, what bike do you have?
R15.
After this, what do you want to buy? What's the aspirational bike you want?
Panigale.
See? So I know.
I can't come. The bike I have till date is.
Owns one Range Rover.
I was going to tell.
Oh my God!
No, I was going to tell you. I was going to.
Talking us.
Hold
Talking us
on.
about our aspirations.
She can.
This is where I was headed, right? So when I started, first I had Maruti 800. Then job got better. Then I got a Thar. Thar, back then, Bangalore, there were no roads. So Thar was brilliant for me. Take it on curbs, everything. And then I found it too dusty. Because Thar, while the engine is really beautiful, the external shell is very crass. Like if there's an auto guy going next to you, he might be in the auto saying, hello? And in the car, you can hear, hello, like as he's sitting next to you. So I used to put this big headset and all and drive. And then at some point, I said, okay, now I've got a better job. So I bought this white elephant. Oh. Dude, you take it out on one round, no? There's maintenance cost. Oil will drip somewhere. So it's never enough. It's never enough till you step back and genuinely ask the question of how much is.
You get the promotion.
Huh.
You should stop. You should still self-impose not
That
getting
is
any
why
more
it's an
promotion.
addiction, right?
That's what I did. My first bike is still what I have, Royal Enfield from 2014. I got the job offer. I didn't go tell my parents. I went to a Royal Enfield showroom, tried that bike.
Oh, my first job, I bought a music system. Boom box, woofer, the whole music system.
And I know for a matter of fact, if I was in the same corporate job, that bike would have changed at least 4 times, like you said, But I still have that same 11-year-old bike. I'm happy. I'm like, it still runs. I still like the Royal Enfield. Every year 10,000 service you give,
Yeah. Now I can give a gyan. A vehicle is just a mode of transport. It takes you from point A to point
while
B.
you cruise in your Range Rover and ask these guys like, why do you have RM5? It's still fine. Like, as long as you know what you're doing. But I feel like, like you said, right? It's like, at least people should be conscious that it's a choice I'm making.
Yeah.
I have money now.
Yeah.
If it goes somewhere else, like it's fine. I got a car last year. Like my dream car was a Skoda Slavia.
Huh.
And after my wedding, like my brother said, like, hey, can I get you a car? Because he knows I'm broke and he works in the US. But like I know, like I don't have that. I've gotten a second-hand Skoda Rapid now.
Okay.
Which is still probably like from whatever I'm saying, you'll be like, oh, that itself is too much. But like I'm happy with it. It's still the same drive I have. Whatever he paid off the money, my wife paid the other half. I'm happy.
So do you feel the pressure of a society around you?
Not anymore.
Before you used to.
I used to. That's again like that 1 year period. It was everything that you were probably asking me today. Like this fear of letting down your parents. Because they also had, right? They didn't understand back then was stand up. At least now they are slowly learning.
What would they say? What
They
you
were
doing?
saying everything. They were worried. They were too worried. Even I was worried. It was like a cyclic process. They were worried that I'm worried that they are worried. It's like keeps going on and on. And the fear of society blaming my parents for letting me do this. They also had that worry. This fear of like, oh my God, will any girl ever date me? Will I ever get married?
Oh, you were single as well, yeah.
Yeah. I was, yeah.
Oh.
That is probably the point. I was like swiping this left, right and center. It was fun and all. But there was still a fear of like, fear of not finding love. I was finding girls, but not.
So right used to happen through this period. Swipe right.
That also, like I said, all kinds of addictions. And it was new for me also, like
Yeah.
from a school where like I was not allowed to talk to women. Now I'm
come
like,
to
oh,
a
you
city.
swipe and you go on dates also, and I was saying that also started with some level of insecurity
Yeah.
of like, I was very, especially Bangalore women, I was intimidated by like, oh, they're too cool for me, whatever. Like,
How are they cool?
no,
How are they cool?
they will turn back and ask like, why are you following me? Chennai guys never asked that. I was not prepared with that
Are you
answer
serious?
also.
People don't ask like that?
No, like they'll smile sometimes. They'll be like, or they will tell the teacher the next day.
No, okay. Yeah, Bangalore is
Back then.
tough.
Now I wouldn't say I'm intimidated or whatever, but this was when my dating life started again,
Were
along
you
with comedy.
Were you ever slapped by a girl or anything?
Like in what context?
Oh! Do say more. Whichever context you want to put here.
Slapped with anger? No, probably not. I guess.
Okay, the other way?
Probably yes. I guess. I don't remember.
In Bangalore?
No, I actually don't remember. I'm just messing around. I don't know. But yeah, not slapped in the sense like, no, I mean like, no. I became less of a creep, I think. My creepiness from my school days slowly started
So did you
reducing.
start getting grounded in your expectations then from when you came from Chennai to Coimbatore to Bangalore and then to Auroville? Was this a gradual process
More
of
than
more
grounding, I felt like my confidence level slowly started increasing. Like from this
Or-
increasing.
Okay,
Like in the sense, I started being more comfortable with
nice.
who I am.
Nice.
From starting with this guy who just moved to Bangalore, trying to fit in, trying to be scared of like what will people think of me. I had my own set of, insecurities, like different things, like my complexion, whatever. Initially, I used to think like, oh, women don't even like want to go on dates who are dark skinned like me, whatever. But slowly, I figured out like, oh, women also are also not that shallow minded
Yeah.
all the time. You start meeting people, like the kind of dates I went to, the women I dated at that point, even in Auroville for that matter and all. Like I used to date a German girl
Nice.
first, and then like I don't know, as shallow as it sounds, dating a white girl actually gave me a lot more confidence. I was like, oh, actually, like they're not worried about like my skin complex. For her, everyone is brown only. I felt so happy. She's racist towards everyone, A lot of other things, right? Like slowly those insecurities started reducing my, language capabilities, communication capabilities, my etiquette on a date, whatever. Like slowly those insecurities started reducing, my confidence on myself started increasing.
Yeah.
That's when you are like, you don't try to be this overconfident guy who's like, yeah, oh, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But more, I started being myself, confident being myself, and I think that attracted more and more people and became a cyclic process of that confidence. It's either a downward cycle or an upward cycle.
Yeah.
I think post Auroville, it became more of an
Lovely.
upward cycle
Lovely.
for me in terms of confidence, approaching people. Generally, my communications became better. Like I started exploring different ways. I don't know if you have heard nonviolent communication. I started exploring more of that. That was again one thing that I learned in Auroville, introduced in Auroville.
Okay.
I learned a bunch of life skills in Auroville that helped me even till date actually.
Actually, I had a similar route. I'm just drawing a parallel because when I started Attitude Makeover, I didn't think anybody will watch my episodes. I was going through so much change. I thought whoever's going through change or who's gone through change, I'll sit across like this and have a conversation on the journey and pivot on some things about change. Then I noticed there were like 11-year-olds, 15-year-olds writing to me, Auntie, I like this. And I'm like, why are they following? And I never understood. So then I started reading a little more on the research. And then I found that we go through at least 4 reboots in our life. One is in your teenage years, then in your 20s, then in you've done left shift in that. You've done this in your 30s, but ideal age is your mid 40s. And finally in your 60s. But there's a complete left shift happening today. Like if you ask Gen Zs, these fundamental questions are happening very early on with them. And reboots of this kind happens with all of us. It could be lifestyle, it could be health, it could be career, changing hometown. For me, when I moved to the US, I told you I changed as a person. And I became a lot more confident. To your point, I can so relate with each one of these. So we're all different and yet similar. And when you said non-violence communication, when I started Attitude Makeover, it was so confusing initially. I started exploring other things. So I went for this Ahimsa Ke Raste workshop. It was in some village. You had to go stay in the village. Hoity-toity woman went with one Tumi bag and all. You had to stay in a dorm. And then this whole workshop was about non-violent communication. Till then, I thought violence was just this. It's that workshop that taught me so much more about violence you do to yourself, violence you do in terms of silence as a communication elsewhere. It's
Even
an
a look can
eye-opener.
be violent, right?
Yeah, a
Not
look, a stare can be
not
violent.
a kind of
yes,
look.
yes, or not staring, or not giving a look, right? All of those. It was eye-opening, and I feel like we are missing out on all of that by going into that rat race of. I don't know if people who are in that rat race have managed to even step out and go into some of these. This is not mainstream.
Which is not mainstream.
All these courses, these Auroville kind of programs, these are not mainstream.
True.
Right? These are more for the bhatka hua people. The Hindi word aaya udhar.
It's true. I think it's mostly to do with curiosity, at least for me.
Yeah.
That's what my mother always defines me. It's like curiosity is this boon and the bane. you know,
Achilles
like,
heel.
Yeah.
That's your Achilles heel.
Yeah. So in the sense, like I've always been curious, and a lot of my friends who know whatever I've done, who want to do it, have never taken the leap to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't know the reason. It's like again, like they know it will change them.
Yeah.
It might be for the good,
Yeah.
but they're still afraid to do it. It's
Yeah.
like
It's the
very
fear.
inherent survival
Fear.
instinct, I guess. You
Yeah.
know, they're afraid of the
Yeah.
change that can happen. The
Yeah.
possibilities are unlimited, right? You know, and I think like again, like for me, I had that like spark of curiosity, but like it grew more and more because of the people I met.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of mentors I have had in comedy. I have mentors. Auroville, I have mentors. You know, in like even this trainings and stuff I do. I have people who I look up to in all these fields who have been like successful just by doing what they really like doing. You know, with conviction. And
Do you just go and approach mentors, or how do you get?
Auroville happened because it was a structured program. So it was run by five, six really good people in different fields: education, spirituality, yoga. You know, it was put together by this bunch of people. All of them really nice people. I still talk to and whatever. Otherwise, my college HOD still talks to me like the person has always been the person I look up to. Comedy, it happened very naturally. The kind of friends I got. I don't look up. I mean, go looking for it. I guess
They just happen.
happened luckily for me.
Yeah.
But for that, you have to be open. You have
Yeah.
to be. You have to look around to figure out like who can be your mentor and consciously, probably subconsciously build that relationship with
Yeah.
them. I guess
Yeah.
that happened to me a lot.
How many women did you date in this period till now in the story?
I don't know. Properly, maybe like 6.
Oh, you're
7?
still less than 10.
Oh my god. But are you talking about like the dates I went or people I was in a relationship? That was probably 5, 6.
What? Which one? A relationship or dates?
Relationship.
And dates?
Too many.
Number podu?
Number poda. I don't know. Probably, definitely more than 100.
Ooh. Hey, the last guest. The reason I'm asking is last guest was about value selling.
Amma, sorry. Wife, sorry.
Sorry.
Auntie asked, so I told her.
Pavi. Abhi to jawan
Okay,
hai.
yeah, sorry. A sister asked. Okay.
So last guest was about value selling. So he's one of the best value selling trainers in India. And I come from a sales background. So I thought, you need to know your self-worth, and that's when the journey becomes a lot more easier. So I asked him if he can draw a parallel to that. One of the things he talked about was prospecting. So in sales, you prospect. Similarly, boys, he specifically talked about boys only, no? Men prospect multiple women. And then from there, your lead generation tunes and becomes thinner to that relationship would, you know what I'm saying?
Funneling.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
And you are supposed to be in sales.
Cut this
Sorry.
part.
Sorry. My roast self is coming out once in a while. Please pardon me. I tried not to do it today.
Not a way yourself,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, exactly.
So that's why I asked, how many did you date? Like, what is that
No, it's
prospect
never like that, right?
and
I think what happened with me was, like I said, first two were like this college school was like very Tamil movie kind of romance.
Unakku na iruppain
Yeah,
kinds.
only one girl. I will save my virginity for her.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so ashamed of myself when I say all the stories, all that. But like after, like I said, like that point again, like there was pre-Auroville and where I was going on miserable dates, I didn't have the confidence. I think like later on after 2018, probably till 2021, when I met my wife. I think 3 years was like that period where like again I was again in like 2-3 relationships in those 3 years, which lasted for like 5-6 months. But every time some breakup happens, the next 2-3 months I was like
Back.
whoring,
Okay.
just going on dates,
Oh, again.
whoring around like crazy, like 8 dates a week, whatever. Again, it was firstly vengeance kind of dates. Is like, oh my god, what is there in relationship? What is love? Why should I date anyone long term when there are like dating apps? I can go on dates and have sex with anyone, whatever. Yeah, I think it was more of a reflex. That's why the number was high, because I was on more of a vengeance dates that I went on. Who I really know I would hate the date, but I'll still go on, be like, oh, I'm going to increase my number. Don't laugh at that.
It happens.
I think he's relating to it.
Yeah, it is relatable. Like, I want to hit some number at time.
Oh, really? You put targets also, sir? 100.
Oh, I've been an aspiration.
I'd like to know what
Or
is
do you
the
get
maximum.
jealous with such numbers and all?
Dude,
Because
mine is school classmate, kindergarten.
Exactly, but that's why I asked, do you get jealous? Like, what do you feel when
I feel
things
very
happen in this
left
generation?
out.
Left out.
Yeah, I feel, I think both of us, we've talked about it. What is this? We missed the whole. But these days, most of them don't even believe in a marriage itself, right? Like,
I used to not believe.
I was heading there only. So how did that change? From all this to suddenly finding someone and then going all the way to marriage. Like, marriage is such a big thing.
Marriage was, I was arm twisted into it.
Ah.
But I knew
Who did the arm twisting?
By both the parents. Even I tell on my shows, right? Like, wife came and said, like, let's tell our parents that you're dating. Nothing, we don't have to do anything and all. And then I was like, okay, fine. And then you meet parents, if you tell Indian parents, do not tell Indian parents that you're dating, except if you want to get married that same weekend. Don't be like, I'll just say, and we can still keep dating. That's never happening.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think
this
that's
was the first time I dared enough to be like, at least tell my parents and their parents, like, we are dating. My idea was to, tell them, keep dating, whatever. We were happy and possibly get into a live-in relationship and whatever. And I wasn't too keen on the idea of marriage. But when I met this person, I knew like, yeah, she's sorted. She makes me happy, and like one true love and all. One mature true love that comes in your 30s happened.
Where you found her?
Hinge.
This
Yeah.
only?
This is more this.
Oh, I don't know. So how? Okay, which one did you like? Bumble, Hinge. What other apps are there today?
Tinder.
But one is not.
What?
What happened?
So I thought one is for the LGBT. I thought Tinder was for LGBT.
That's Grindr is for
Grindr.
homosexuals,
Okay.
which I wasn't part of.
Okay.
I've
it's
opened
cool.
and checked the interface, but never tried.
Is the interface cool?
I forgot actually. No, it was bad only, I think,
Okay.
because too many dick pics.
What does your profile?
I didn't like that interface.
Apparently, it's very fast.
Grinder.
Yeah, match.
Oh.
I just
It's again. How do you know?
I've heard.
You've heard. You're a friend. I'm asking this question for a friend, kind of thing.
I just heard.
I also know because one of my exes was bisexual, who had dated both men and women, and she used to say like, you would think guys on Bumble or creepy, you should see women on Grindr like who are homosexuals is even more creepier.
Oh.
Like that, because there's no, I think like at least guys there's like inhibition, like hey, this that thing and all. But she used to hate it. She
Hey,
used to-
I should create one.
on Grindr.
Yeah, one profile. In all and see.
Go for it. It's a nice experiment. Until like 3-4 months after I started dating this girl, also we would get on together and be like, see who we are getting matches and all. Like now it's too. it gives me traumatic nightmares.
What did your profile say?
Cool things. I don't know. I don't know. But I used to have something interesting. I think like I revamped my profile at some point, after which I started getting a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Because again, like any guy, like for the longest time, I used to be like, oh my god, why are guys not getting matches? It's only the cool guys, the fair-looking guys, tall guys, rich guys will get matches and all. And at one point, I was like, and then little bit like I used to get because I'm a comedian. That time used to be cool. But that also like after that you have to talk and be interesting and all that. But I think at one point I was like, dude, like why can't I approach it like a presentation in school that I'm trying to impress people? I think I revamped it, did something, I don't know. Something with a photo. My photos will have a caption which is both self-deprecating and kind of what I do now, but in a more like, Bumble, Hinge kind
Quadrant story started there. Then,
Not,
no?
I don't know if it was Quadrant, but it was like, it was showing that I'm self-aware.
I see.
It was like a photo of
So
myself.
it was a very conscious effort you put to actually
Yeah,
go.
I think at one point I sat down and got some of my female friends, and said like, hey, I'm going to revamp it. I want your help. Give me feedback of what is this. And they kept like 3-4 cycles, like one proper presentation in Microsoft. It went on. After that, I got a lot of matches because people are like, oh, it's curious about. And I think it's that simple. Guys keep complaining, even women for that matter, they keep complaining like, oh, I'm not getting anything. Put some effort, use your brain to do something interesting, otherwise nothing happens. It's very difficult to stand out for anyone. Sorry. Oh, these two guys, huh?
No, all three.
All three are in dating apps. Yeah.
I don't know. You're not in a dating app. You're not either. होके भी फायदा नहीं तो तू इसका
Not required.
नहीं होके भी फायदा नहीं है ओ तमिल no he is your customer he is a client
I don't know, that's why again this was again 4-5 years back. I don't know what, maybe that is only not enough these days, I don't know what people look for.
that's a lot of hard work, no?
It is hard work, it is perseverance, whatever. Again, for me, at one point, I wasn't going on dates to find the love or whatever. I started enjoying the process in the sense like, 100, like first 80 would have been like, the vengeance thing. But the last set of people I met were really interesting people.
Nice.
I started limiting myself on like,
Quality leads.
Quality probably, probably because at that point I also had that choice. I wasn't like this, timid Tamil boy who has to be like anything I'll take, whatever. I wasn't that desperate anymore. So I started going on good dates with interesting people, started enjoying the conversations, all that. Like I think without that, especially in current generation, with the number of choices they have, it's going to get really, really mind consuming for people if you're looking for some particular end goal and if you're approaching it to it.
Is it tougher to date today?
Even compared to 5 years back, I think it's tougher today. The pandemic again has changed things, I guess. No, and I don't know. Maybe these guys will know better. But I'm sure it has become the fact that even when I put out that first reel that went super viral, that Bumble and Hinge, that was like an eye opener for me. I was like, dude, whatever I'm saying, from my experience 3 years back, people are relating so hard, and that got me some followers from across the world, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Dubai, Africa. And I realized okay, this relationship trauma is an international thing of all age groups, and hot girls in bikinis started following me. I was like, dude, you're also facing the same problem. I thought only guys have this problem. They're all commenting and messaging saying oh my god, so true. It's so exhausting. It's so, mind consuming. And that's when I was like, oh, probably I think it's gotten worse more than ever, I think.
Yeah. Which was your worst date?
Oh.
No, the laughter was very Kamal Hassan kind of.
No, can I get my phone if you don't mind? Yeah. I'll actually tell a story, which might be interesting. I don't know if it's still there.
Is the AC too much?
No, it's this message is not there anymore.
Huh.
But yeah, the story is simple. I think it's the middle of the pandemic, second wave or something. I think I went off to Auroville again in my bike because I didn't want to stay here. When I came back, the plan was to meet a girl, who was very keen in meeting me, and she said she has just gone through a breakup. She was a fan and whatever, and we planned to meet up. And my plan was, I'm coming back to Bangalore next day. The plan was to go meet her the same day because the curfew and all was still happening. Directly at 5 o'clock, I'll go to her place, meet her, and then come home. And I got a random message from some guy on Instagram saying like, "Hey, don't go meet her, whatever." And I asked this
It's a
guy-
random guy.
Yeah, someone I didn't know.
Huh.
Just got a message, "Hey, I know what you're going to do tomorrow. Don't go meet her." And I pinged this girl asking like, "Do you know this guy?" And she was like, "Yeah, this is my ex. Ignore him. Don't worry, whatever and all." And then I go to a place that evening, getting beer or whatever, sitting and chatting, and I actually too clocked to remember the entire story, but the idea was I got death threats from the guy who said like, "I'm coming to your place." And then while I was at the house, I kind of figured out like they didn't actually break up. It was like an on and off relationship.
Oh.
And that guy was still living in that house until like 3 days back. And he had a keys to that house. And he's like, "I have the keys, I'm coming with a knife. If you're a real guy, stay there and whatever." And this girl was like, "Hey, let him come. He's one like bacha. He's like one, this guy, this site only will be there." I'm like, "But he's coming with a knife." He's like, "Don't worry, I'm there to save you." He's asking you if you're a real man. Why would you run away? I'm like, "I'm not a real man. I want my life. I will run away." What's that to prove in my masculinity here? And then some random shit happened. And then this girl called the guy's sister who lives in the same apartment complex. And the sister was embarrassed. The guy's brother-in-law was also like calling her and saying like, "Oh, he's gone mad, he's drunk now, please be safe," And they were shitting on her saying like, they were talking in Bengali. They thought I don't understand because I have this character that I don't understand Hindi only. But I could understand. I could understand assholery. So technically the sister and brother-in-law was like, if you break up, you have to do it properly. You're giving him hopes time and again. You will call, 2 dates will go bad. You will call that guy again. Some relationship gone bad. Both of them were psychos technically, and I got caught up in the mashup, and I don't know.
You ran.
Huh?
You ran.
I couldn't. By the time I was too drunk also, and it was curfew time also, almost like 7:30. And then I was like, and luckily like something happened. Her sister, his sister, everyone called that guy, somehow convinced him like be there. And I still kept getting threats. But at one point I realized this guy is not coming. He's just like throwing tantrums, whatever. Because he used to apparently drinking like 20 kilometers away somewhere and all. And at one point he kept doing it. At one point I also was like, "Hey, dude, come. You come, I'll stay. What do you want to do?" At point I was like, "Okay, man, if I'm dying today of a chopper, whatever, it's fine." That's what he said. "I have a chopper. I will come and cut you into pieces, whatever."
Chopper is at...
Yeah, there's something. Yeah,
Oh.
not this helicopter. After all that is like, the girl was like, "Oh, sorry about it. You can stay here, but just to know, like we can't hook up today." And I was like, "Dude, do you really think I want to hook up after this?" And yeah, ran away the next morning. Never met her again.
What is marriage like? It's 1 year?
It's a great segue from a traumatic date to whatever this is. It's fun. Marriage is fun.
Yeah? Were there realizations like, "Oh wow, I didn't think of this," or "No, this is all beautiful"?
It is thing for a guy who was completely against marriage, probably until 2-3 years back. It's been a good life,
Nice.
I would say. I mean, the girl aspect I knew. I mean, because she's a chill girl. That's why like I was okay with marrying and all. But I think the other aspects of families, helping each other, me having like a new family, that aspect is also.
Nice.
Her parents are chill. She likes my parents. So that way I think everything fell into place. And I think both the parents were like, she was the second child, was not getting married for a long time. Same thing for me. So they were finally happy that they found someone. And the fact that we both are decent people is making them happier even more, I think. So it's like a good deal overall so far. I don't know.
So I'll switch gears now.
Huh?
I'll switch gears now.
Sure. Cool.
It's comedy.
Okay.
How did you...
We didn't even start comedy until this point.
Yeah.
The producer is sad or happy, I don't know.
Producer just allows me to...
Are we derailing so much? No? Okay.
No derail, Olivi.
It can be as long as it has to be.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I've had 2.5 hours recordings.
Cool.
So...
We're almost at 2.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, we spoke for a
I
long
didn't
time.
realize. Are you serious? We've not come to the main part still.
150 plus, yeah.
Okay, all right. We better get to the main part.
Cheers.
No, lot of scope to edit out, I think, though.
No, I
Full
think.
raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raw and inedible.
So comedy. The other day when we were talking about this episode, I realized he watched you 10 years back, by the way.
Where was this?
Urban Service.
That is again like one of the
OG.
cradles of Bangalore stand-up scene. Urban Solace, Take 5 and local in Kalyan Nagar, which still happens.
Oh, in Haryana?
Humming Tree, but like that was like occasional shows, but these were regular weekday shows that happens.
Okay.
Local still happens on Mondays till date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Urban Solace is like a great place as well.
So that time he was saying that he attempted comedy.
Oh, okay.
And after I had... So I liked this also because, see, like, for example, I had Akash Mehta, I was telling you, right? It was like one-on-one comedy show. It's so delightful. Like, how often do you get... This is such a luxury. Look at this.
For you or for me? it's like you saying, like, look at the couch have you ever sat in such a cool couch in your life? You broke guy without Range Rover. Sorry. It felt like that.
See, I want to learn comedy because I think my comebacks are so shit. Okay. I want to be so good at my comebacks that it is like it'll take you like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe 3 minutes later, chata, you'll feel it. You got it.
Within 1 second. I got what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so, but then I figured I'm not having a funny bone at all. But for someone like me or someone like him, or then I'm thinking there'll be many who want to get into comedy because if you're funny, I think things happen much more faster for you. This might be a
It's an
assumption,
important skill to have.
right? And I think it's a beautiful skill to have. So for someone who wants to get into it, where do you start?
Go for an open mic.
Like just go, is it?
Yeah.
Like what do you say? Like what, you
At
write
least
jokes?
Maybe like write a script for 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes.
What is a script? Tell me.
Just what you want to talk for 3-4 minutes.
Okay, if you have to talk here for 3 minutes, what would it be?
Mine.
Yeah.
Pick a topic, just talk. The insecurity or the fear comes when you have to be funny.
Huh.
But if you have to just prepare a speech for 4 minutes, you can go and talk, no?
But you're going for a comedy talk, no?
That's
you have to
fine.
be funny, no?
That's fine. No one is funny on the first attempt, no? But you have to start somewhere.
Oh, so just pick a topic.
Pick a topic, write something for 4 minutes.
Okay.
Hopefully try to make it funny as per your sensibilities.
Okay.
Figure out an open mic in your city, wherever you are. Go attempt it. First time you're going to be horrible. If you really have the grit to go back, you will go back. Otherwise you'll get right there. But you keep going back. That's how I do it.
So only 3 minute scripts. That's
3
enough.
to 5 minutes to start with.
Okay.
You take at least 4 or 5 months. That's how it used to be back then. Now people go on this live, talent shows. Something clicks, they become famous. They are already comedians. But like I'm very old school that way. Like you do stand up, go to open mics for 6 months to 1 year. First 1 year, 6 months. You just make that 5 minutes of material funny enough so that you get laughs with it, and you know where you're getting laughs with it. And then once you get the first 5 minutes tight, you try to build the next 5 minutes. This is how traditional stand-up comedians have
So
done
do you
it
go
throughout
back with the same script to different locations and try to see
Yeah.
different flavors?
Yeah.
And then find which one clicked, or you keep trying different scripts?
No one writes like that. Stand-up, you repeat the scripts until you perfect it.
Okay. And then at some point you create a gig, is it?
5 minutes, and then you build another 5 minutes. Now you will have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30.
But they should be all connected, right?
Sometimes doesn't have to be necessarily. Can come without segues also.
Can you give me some examples of, like, you know quite a few comedians. Are there different styles?
There are like very normal.
What's your style?
Funny.
Poda.
I'm sorry. I always say this. Even I don't know. Like, whatever. I don't know. I think I'm more of a storyteller, I would say. On stage. I like telling stories and inserting observations in between. But yeah, if you want variety, this observational, storyteller, laid back, stoner comedy, whatever. There are types. There is various types. But I think there's a little bit of everything in everyone. Just like Amon's one-liners, whatever. So, but I think I would consider myself a storyteller. On stage at least.
Okay. But you were not a storyteller before, or were you always considering yourself as a good storyteller?
Before comedy.
Mm.
I think I was this funny guy in Gang
Oh, you
of
were a
Friends.
funny
So
guy.
one thing I was known for in college also was to roast people in my class and whatever. We would have like sessions in hostel where I would like roast almost 30 of my classmates for like 1.5 hours straight. Like just me and one more guy, just calling out like a very impromptu roast, like this guy is this guy, and it's a fun in a funny tone, and everyone will enjoy it like until late night. This will go on.
Can you roast her?
Roast?
Roast?
That's what I've been doing, I thought.
You got roasted.
I got roasted, is it? Did you? Huh?
Nice, I guess.
Oh, you guys have been keeping tab. I'm not even under.
They are enjoying it as well.
Fucking shit. Really? Where did I get roasted?
Multiple places. Subtle ways also, direct also on your face.
Range Rover only twice, I said.
Twice.
But this is more of a very cordial way. This is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
my,
yeah, but
this
see,
is
like-
not my full potential. But like this with friends and all, like I'll go full uninhibited.
How bad can it get, your roast?
People have cried.
Yeah?
One guy has gotten asthma, like triggered asthma on a road in the midnight. Not kidding. I'm still guilty of it. I keep apologizing to this guy. He lives in the US, works in Apple and all. But yeah, we were walking back from a theater back 1 o'clock in the night. I roasted him so much, like, he had like asthma attack. And I still said like, you were acting. And he cried. People had to stop me, whatever, I used to get too brutal. And like some of it, I'm not proud of it anymore. I think it crossed that borderline, from roasting to becoming a bully, which I don't recommend. But yeah, now I know, I think more better with the line, I think.
So when you roast, do you roast yourself as well?
I do a lot of self-deprecation. I think that's why even the Quadrant Reels works. I don't take myself seriously. And when you don't do that, people like you when you roast them even more.
This creator economy has been very interesting for me. You got into it, 2015, 16, right? From there. And you plunged into it. How has it evolved? And I feel like I want to have a follow-up question here. Like I follow quite a few of these. I find humor to be such a medicine, such a beautiful medicine. So I follow quite a lot of comedians. And I actually always try to get more comedians into my podcast as well. Where was I going with this?
Creator economy?
Old age. Not that old. Creator economy.
Excuse the auntie.
yeah, not.
You claimed, I didn't.
So creator economy, they talk about it, that it is such a big $1 billion market. While it has opened the potential of one person really breaking all barriers and, you no longer have to be employed and all. It's not an easy journey. And yet, I feel comedians have sort of figured a way to carve out a niche and grow. In other art forms, there seems to be more, you need to fit in to grow. Is it the same here, or standing outside, it looks like anybody can become someone big?
I think stand-up is the right amount of mix of being a loner art form, but with just enough collaboration. You can do it all alone by yourself. You don't need this production, like not even like a podcast or a music troupe or any other way, a movie, or anything for that matter, theater for that matter, can be very, very individualistic. But the more you collaborate, the more easier it gets. So there is scope that way to be doing what you want to do. I can sit at home with a whiteboard. I can make people laugh, right? Not a lot of art forms, at least even if you're a musician, you at least need one instrument with you to showcase your talent. This doesn't require anything, just like your camera and whatever at this point and age. That way it's a little easy. But generally creator economy, yeah, it is there. Compared to 8 years, there are a lot more opportunities. At the same time, there is a lot more, competition also. Because now, like, internet has opened up the world to you, to anyone. So people come in, even comedians, right? There are like a lot more comedians who come, and every year I'm seeing, right? Compared to 10 years back, every year probably like 8 to 10 people will start stand-up. These days, every week, some 5 to 6 people are starting stand-up, and they quit at the same pace also. Because they come in thinking like, oh, creator economy is the next big thing. It's going to be big. I'm going to be, myself. Why should I work for someone else? But it's not an easy thing. You can't expect a whole generation of people work for TCS, Infosys, government jobs, Microsoft, Amazon, who are completely dependent on a paycheck. Not just that. We don't know how our company makes money. How many of us who work in corporates actually figure out, even in startups, like 50 people startup, know actually how your work is translating into money. That process of business, that process of actual, this money game, we don't understand. And for the whole generation which did it, like suddenly you can't be like creator economy, you put videos, money will flow. No, there is like a nuance to it, there is like an understanding to it, there's hard work behind it, and more competition also now. That's why people are getting more intimidated also by this whole, as much as it's a cool term, it's not going to be easy, especially for Indians. We are not used to it. Like some white guy in San Francisco will do a startup, it will become big, and we get proud saying like, hey, I work for Amazon. That's our biggest pride. Not like starting anything. In hindsight, I would say I would have a lot more respect for a guy who started this like little shop in Koramangala, has run it successfully for 10 years, than someone who says like, hey, I'm a principal engineer because someone paid me for like. And I'm not saying they're not talented, but our talent is very particular.
Yeah.
We can execute instructions very efficiently, for that matter.
Yeah, I feel this is a very entrepreneurial, but a solo entrepreneurial of one man army sort of thing. And then you are everything: marketer, seller, creator, everything. Even chaprasi, I think, at some point. But there you have a full army helping you to grow.
True.
And it's very different. So would you recommend this to people?
Anyone, yeah. To try stand-up, yeah. To anyone, I would say. Try at least once. What's wrong?
Okay.
Just worst thing, yeah. It's an experience like scuba diving. And it's one of the cheapest experiences, like cheapest adventure sports you can try, right? Trying to make people laugh in a public forum.
Did people laugh first time when you went on
9.
stage?
Couple of times. But it was very that
Couple or?
couple of laughs I got
Okay.
during my
First time.
Laughs again, that time the expectation was low. If I still have that video, which I cringe watching it. But that time, like Take 5 at Mondays, people will come to experience new people trying stand-up. It wasn't about like how funny they were. It's about like, hey, good job, man. I'm going to support you. That now it's very much more brutal for people who start now because the expectations, the quality of stand-up has gone
Very true.
so high. It's not easy for people who start. That time, people were more giving, like just a fresh perspective, or like my first joke was about like how my Hindi is bad, or whatever. People are just laughing at the idea of it.
Is
Because
your
it was
Hindi really bad?
Now it's improved.
Talk.
Probably like the last 6 years, ever since I started stand-up, it has improved. Again, by watching Hindi stand-up comedians a lot. So now I can understand well, pretty much, I guess.
You can vartalap in Hindi.
I don't talk though. I don't talk, I can understand. I don't talk because it's funny.
I was just checking.
Yeah.
You see.
See, correctly understood. No, Vartalab, like on Vakil you are saying.
हम हिंदी में बहुत निपुण हैं. No. I'm
I didn't
shit in
hear that,
Hindi.
sorry.
हम हिंदी में बहुत निपुण हैं.
Nipun, what is Nipun? I
Excellent.
heard nipple first time. Sorry.
Sada Shivan ke vande gyana. You know that?
Shada Shivaki Onde Gyan.
That is Kannada.
Only one
Focus.
focus for the Shiva. Oh no, sorry. I'm not Shiva.
No, I didn't know Hindi before. But once I started podcast and one guest was from Haryana. He's a village panchayat, Sarpanch. And his Hindi, when I got introduced, I had to do the full podcast in Hindi. So then I went and learned a little bit of Hindi.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice
Pretty
language.
good in Hindi though.
Yeah.
Using
It's pretty
Nipun,
good, no?
Nipun and all.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Words I have never heard.
Killer over there. Okay, shall we try our quadrants?
Oh my god.
I mean,
Okay.
I have a bunch, like you can pick, okay? I have like 5 or 6 flavors. Are you ready? You want to take a break?
No, it's fine.
Are you okay? Yeah? So the first one, it's a side hustle spectrum.
What do you want me to do though?
Quadrant. I want to figure out.
It's not like.
I want to see you do it, and I want to understand how the quadrant model works, because I should show you how all I've tried to
I
understand.
don't know. Like, I don't know if this is going to be helpful. I can give you my ideas on how I'll approach it.
Okay.
What is the?
How
idea?
do you go? Okay, one idea I'll ask you. Hold on.
I think you should give a little bit introduction for people who have no idea what quadrant is.
Dude, I
Or
think
do you
people
assume
know
all
you.
your followers will.
Yeah. I think people will. They'll figure out now.
Okay.
Okay, dating 3.0. Swipe versus soul.
Swipe versus
Soul.
solda.
Soul.
Soul.
Connection,
I don't
deeper
even understand the
connection.
swipe and soul.
Okay, doesn't work.
Is it like Gen Z terminologies I'm not getting? I don't
No,
know.
it must be my. They also don't know. It must be my.
Hmm.
Cut all this, okay? Hey, edit all this. Okay, side hustle, passion, paycheck, security, risk.
Passion, paycheck, security. Again, I'm not able to.
So I saw that your. Okay, let me ask you. I saw your quadrant has 2 by 2 matrix. So passion, what is the other one I said?
Passion, paycheck.
Paycheck, security, and risk.
What I would do is like more like, you know,
Or you pick whatever you want.
yeah,
It's even
something more
better.
ideal would be like, having a job versus entrepreneurship,
Lovely.
superimposed on, advantages and disadvantages of
Okay.
security risk.
Okay.
That's what we discussed, I thought.
I
But
know.
yeah, I think I get what you're trying to ask. And I don't think I start a quadrant by thinking 4 points.
Oh, okay. Let's figure. Okay, where do you start?
It's always like 2 opposing ideas,
Oh.
which is very common.
Two complementing.
2 contradicting ideas. And
Contradicting.
it's very common in India or everywhere, right? That's how we live life. It's always like one thing has to have another. Rajnikant has to have a Kamal Hassan. Swiggy has to have a Zomato, Indigo, Air India, school, college.
Let's
Male,
do Swiggy,
female.
Zomato.
Huh?
Let's do Swiggy, Zomato.
Swiggy, Zomato. That's what, like this 2 opposing ideas, it's unlimited, right? It's a never ending thing of anything you take, there's an opposing, podcast versus stand up, whatever, you can do those 2 opposing ideas comes very naturally. That is very easy. And like I know like a bunch of introverts versus extroverts. Next thing I'm doing is mountains, beaches, whatever. These very commonly known debates that have been going on for ages at least that only is like there are like 500,000, and if you explore enough they will find even more. So that has never been a problem of finding 2 contradicting ideas. That's the easiest part, and that's always like I always have an idea of what I'm going to go for the next month or whatever, which will be in the back of my head. The most difficult part is to have another vertical that superimposes over these 2 contradicting ideas.
So what do you mean by, like, if I take Swiggy, Zomato, what is a vertical here then?
That is the toughest part. To find out something that relates to these 2, probably I can come up with any 2 things, right? Swiggy, Zomato for breakfast versus lunch.
Okay.
That is one. But it doesn't sound as exciting to me, right? Swiggy, Zomato for, I don't know, for food versus
Condom.
groceries. For food versus groceries.
I said food versus condom.
Quantum, important grocery that way. Whatever, right? So finding that second vertical of something that can, be superimposed on this idea. Like for like most times like men versus women works. I do like even the mountain versus beaches is like men versus women. It's like one common, because there is already an extreme aspect of it that comes with it. I think for me the most difficult part is to find something that second vertical of opposing ideas that will complement this and can be related in some way, right? And it can be related in any way. So for example, that South Indian, North Indian, how India communicates that I did. Idea was even introvert or extrovert, I can do the same way. It's just superimposing with the same thing. Introvert, extrovert, interacting with another introvert, extrovert. How does it happen?
Oh, it's
So if like one person, there's always a relationship and adjective, not an adjective, like a like a verb attached. like Chennai versus Bangalore, I was like, what happens when a Chennai guy lives in Bangalore, Bangalore guy living in Chennai? So living in is like the keyword. So I have to find the keyword or the relationship that I'm going for, and the opposing vertical. These two will be the most difficult part. Once I'm convinced with something that I know can be like, made funny or like can have like juice, then I go for it. And once you figure out that vertical, the second vertical, the first vertical is always there. Simple to find the first opposing contradicting ideas. The toughest challenge is to find the second vertical of something that can work around that. Once you figure out that, filling the 4 quadrants is comparatively easy, I feel. It will come naturally. You're not telling much, you're just adding punchlines here and there. And for me, the second most important thing after you find the vertical is to find a driving point. Like the final driving point.
The last line.
That I'm going for. Not just a line. Once you're comparing with all this, what's the point of like comparing? That shit. It's like it all I think naturally comes. I don't know how famous it is in Kannada or Konkani and all, but in Tamil, like there is a huge debate culture. They used to call it Patti Mandram. Every Pongal, every Diwali, there used to be like a. Have you guys seen?
What?
Debates happening in TV, like
Yeah.
Patti Mandrams they call it. I don't know what it's called in
But
Malayalam.
in Kerala, we had like huge crowd debates.
They will have 3 people start talking one topic and the other 3 will talk in another topic. There'll be a final judge, who will like finally give a verdict.
Used to have that in school, but I've not seen it.
That's what I said. I don't think it's common even in Hindi and all.
We should have it more, no?
Yeah, it
Everywhere?
used to be like, I used to like, there is a very famous guy in Tamil called Solomon Papaya. He used to be the judge for any of these famous debate competitions that telecast in Sun TV and all on Pongal, Diwali and all. And it's like people will be very curious to say what he says at the end of it. Because like most of the times like he 3 people will talk on one side, 3 on the other side. And the final judge is whole, and his persona became famous as this guy, the judge, was that he will roast both of them. He will say your ideas are shitty, yours ideas are shitty, just fucking go along with life. And I think like for me, like the idea, generally what I go for is that. Even like the last driving point for me is like don't get caught up in this, extremes so much. It's okay. You can acknowledge both the extremes, but at the same time you don't have to be like this Jesus Christ who feels like he's been like pushed on all sides, pulled on all sides, right? So that's always been the idea of a driving point. The central core has always been that, but that I do it with context of that particular quadrant.
And then you take this to your stage gigs, is it? Or do you
I've done it
integrate
only a
this
couple
back?
of times. I don't do it.
They're
In fact, I
different.
started this quadrants mainly because, like I said, my whole stage persona is storytelling. I like telling my personal stories in a funny way. Of course, there will be observations, if required, that make sense to the story. But otherwise, I've never been like this very deliberate observational comedian. And I've, over a period of time, 9 years of stand-up until last year, I kind of figured out that's probably one of the reasons I'm not that famous. It's true, especially as an English comedian in India, you're not a regional comedian. Observational is a lot more easier. People want to relate. Indians are heavily, into this idea of like, so relatable.
Yeah.
You tell like people like oranges are orange, they're like, oh my god, so true. No, I've never noticed it. It's a very Indian mindset. I feel like where they want relatability more than people coming and telling their unique stories.
Yeah.
People don't share. Even till date, when most of my stand-up and it's like personal stories, people message me and say like, oh, so funny and all. But that share happens only when they find something like, I want to tell my friend,
Yeah.
this observation that this guy has made.
Yeah.
So I think it was an evolution of like me figuring out like, okay, I need to do observational stuff as well. But I was never keen on doing it on stage. Again, I didn't want to be that guy who was like, hey, have you ever noticed, it's always a lame observation that follows whenever someone starts
So you
something.
consciously chose your stage presence to be this way and your
My
social media.
stage presence has always been storytelling,
Okay.
personal storytelling. I never cared whether it's relatable or not because I wanted to tell my most embarrassing stories, which has made me comfortable and confident in life itself generally.
Yeah.
So but like as a as a downside, like none of these things go as viral as it kills on a live show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
live show, people love me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, so hilarious.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it's not very shareable.
Yeah.
Especially on a platform like Instagram.
Yeah.
I'd gone viral on YouTube. YouTube, it's like a much more comfortable platform for me to go with long format storytelling things.
Yeah.
It's not like I started Quadrant with that idea, but I have always done stories. I've always tried to stay away from observations that I used to have as well. I cannot just start a thing with observation. I can't go and say like, hey, look at Bumble is like this, Hinge is like this. Or at least on stage, I've never found it intriguing to do it. So I think it just Quadrants, when it happened, the first thing happened with that Nitin Kamath thing, which was more like a reaction to something I read on news. And this format was something I had in mind for the longest time. I had it for another reel. I think I put it out later. The only real idea I had in this format was people getting fired, not fired versus talented, not talented. It was like a reaction I wanted to do with respect to the layoff period. What will talented people do when they are not fired, when they get fired? That was the idea. But I never did it because I thought it was lame. I didn't know how to do it. But when this Nitin Kamath news came, I had a similar thing. I want to just express this, and I did it, and suddenly it became viral. And I was like, oh, people like this actually. And then I tried to do a bunch of ideas I had with a similar thing. And then it became a regular outlet for me to let go of all the observations I've all had for like the last 10 years, right? It's not like I've never known.
True.
I could have done like my Bumble Hinge jokes or like talking about Indigo, Air India, all that like 5 years, 6 years back only. I just never excited me to do it in that format, but this format excites me. It's like I'm not charging people money for telling something they already know, and like people like it because it's observational, it's relatable, and visually it's appealing. Like there's something that teacher vibe, and for some reason I felt like the way I say you, not saying like we are doing this, it becomes personal, I think, People want to be shat on for some reason, they don't want to be like, at least on Instagram, like one-on-one
So
way.
for me, it is like whenever you do this, I'm trying to see where is me in it. Like, when you do the comparison.
True,
call out.
yeah. So some reason, like I think when you say we do this as Indians, more than that you do this shit, no, it becomes more personal. And turns out like I always known like observational comedy is the one people who like to share, it's not like other things are not funny. Just like when people have to share something, it has to be relatable, which is the downside of doing other style of comedy in India as well, especially as an English comedian, which has to change. I don't think it's the case for it. I know some of my favorite comedians, American comedians, are personal storytellers.
Who's your favorite?
I have a bunch of them, and it has changed over a period of time. But still, if you want storytelling comedy, one of my favorite is Mike Birbiglia. He's a very famous guy. He does a lot of British theatre as well. He's a beautiful storyteller. In fact, like he changed my style of stand-up. After that, I became a lot more storyteller. But like I have evolved. Like I started with people like Gabriel Iglesias, Kevin Hart, and then there was like a wave of. I used to love like Chappelle. I still love him. Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neill. Do you know these names?
Yes,
Living in
all
US,
of
you might
them.
have heard a lot of these.
Yes.
Patrice O'Neill, Bill Burr. Patrice O'Neill is still one of my favorites. Till date, if I go low, I'll go back and watch that uninhibited honesty. I think even all these people have inspired me.
Yeah.
And
I found this guy Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy
also
Carr
very-
is really like brutally,
it's like very-
even for that matter, Ricky Gervais. My style, if you closely observe, a lot of it is, at least the Quadrant reels,
Yes.
is a lot of inspiration from Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
This uninhibited truth telling, which I'm able to do it because I know it wouldn't come across as arrogance at this point. Like this terminology I keep hearing, like that radical candor, where like you're honest, but like someone gave me a beautiful analogy. It's like radical candor. I kept coming through this term. Someone told me actually, you have this radical candor. Until then, I have never heard of that phrase. And I got that book. There is a book called Radical Candor. I'm trying to understand what I am doing only. And another friend of mine told, like, have you seen those, these temples in like villages and all where like this Amman gets into the body of someone and they will be like, you are a fucking truth, you will know that they are so brutal, but you know that it's coming from a very place of this love and, that honesty, like this mother's love being so, annoyed with the kid is like, don't fucking do it,
Yeah.
And people like it, people miss it, I guess. It's a very human thing, need for someone to be told like,
Don't.
shut up and don't do it, or do it.
Yeah.
With like that honesty, with that anger, with that love.
Yeah.
This right combination.
Yeah. And especially a third person, like, you don't even
Someone
know
you
the
don't
person.
know. It connects with them.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Take the board.
do what?
You pick a topic because we set this whole thing.
Oh my
Otherwise,
God.
you would have been sitting somewhere in a garden today.
No, like I said, same thing will happen, right? Like maybe like take the same thing, Swiggy and Zomato.
Okay.
This is something that's been on my head. I don't know the second
Vertical.
vertical. I've gotten ideas.
Blacks. Can you switch it to
Like what would your options be for the second vertical? Like you said, groceries
Condoms.
versus
Food.
food.
Can we switch it to black ones?
Sure. Once you get that food grocery is technically Blinkit, right?
Huh. Blinkit.
Now just
Where did Blinkit come?
oh sorry, Blinkit is Zomato, right?
No. Okay. You put
Blinkit is
Swiggy.
Zomato for groceries.
Yeah, I mean the same company.
So yeah, technically Blinkit is Zomato.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically Instamart versus
Okay.
Blinkit and
Okay.
Swiggy versus Zomato.
Okay.
And I don't know. Now from this point, it's all going to be shitting on both these things, right? And to start with,
I want to see you
firstly,
shit.
food for Zomato, I actually don't know. I have never ordered. See, that's how it comes. It's honestly, I haven't ordered. I know it's just shitty. And Swiggy for food,
I've never ordered food on Swiggy. Actually, I have. Yeah,
From where?
there's one Italian restaurant. It's only the same.
On
thing.
Zomato.
Yeah.
Zomato I use mostly for booking places or checking out a space.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dine out basically.
Oh.
And Zomato Gold, which is for offers.
Will you use that?
I used to. Now I don't have the subscription anymore. But yeah, you have a lot of ways to shit on Zomato. No one uses it, I guess. Or some people use it. Some people use literally only Zomato, but I have always been using
Yeah,
food.
I've been a Swiggy
Yeah,
person.
you know, at least with Swiggy, you know how they are scamming you.
Yeah.
No.
Zomato, one thing I've seen, actually, that's true.
See, this is what I do. This is like just talking honestly and people relate. It wasn't funny to you, no?
See, roast is working very delayed with me.
Yeah, your roast also now other people are not understanding. You asked after 1 hour, it's like, I got roasted in this one, huh? Oh my god.
No, but Zomato actually cons you also, I think. Please delete this. What they do, no? They tell you discount, buy this card and
True.
all
So
that stuff, and then
If I have to talk about Swiggy food, that's the first thing, right? I will just how all they scam you. The coupon codes,
Yeah.
delivery, they say like 50 minutes
Yeah.
and whatever. So, and like I said, once we get this food and grocery, which is the vertical, second superimposing vertical, this filling this four things is kind of easy. It's just dedicated work of figuring out what all I want to talk about, just have punchlines for it, or roast them in different ways, whatever.
will you do this? Not now, but someday will you do this?
Yeah, now I got the idea. I will do
We'll
it.
do
I'll
this?
credit you guys as
Thank you. That'd be super cool.
And maybe like that time you can put this reel and say like, we
Ade
we
poda.
gave it. No, I thought it would help you guys, no?
No, I
But
would look
again,
forward
like I
to it.
said, the food and grocery, and probably the driving point I would go is how they are exploiting, workers.
Yeah.
I know for already that's where I want to head.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in these 4 quadrants, that's what I want to go for at the end of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a funny way.
Yeah,
But I don't know if it's like social consciousness or whatever.
yeah,
But immediately that's what comes to
I
my mind.
agree.
Maybe like other things as well.
yeah.
But so once these 2 are figured, I can fill these 4 quadrants very easily. I know the second vertical. I know the driving point I want to do.
This is very helpful. I think it's helpful in multiple ways.
In a way, in what other ways?
Like I struggle, so from you could gather this, I guess. My sentences are very long.
Oh.
Being crisp is not one of my strengths. And so for me, this structure, I like structures. Structure
I love
gives me-
structure. I'm a mathematician by heart.
So I always strive to find a structure that works for me, because then I know it's repeatable, and then I can repeat this and move to another structure to create something else. So this really helps in telling a story, keeping it down to like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. See, it's such a challenging thing in this social media to keep everything in 30 seconds, 1 minute.
Mm.
For someone like me, it's even more difficult.
Yeah, I think for me also this quadrant came at the right time, I guess. It came, I like structure. I am a mathematician. I studied math, and my father is a gold medalist in math. And he's like, I don't know if it's coming from him. I always liked math. That's why I studied at TCS, the theoretical computer science, called math with computer science. And this last 2-3 years, I've been a teacher, trainer for kids. So that teacher mode comes.
You teach maths, is it?
Not maths, computer science basically.
Okay.
So, like, right now I'm coaching, I'm a trainer basically, I'm a tech trainer for Swiggy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you told me
so
that.
for that program called ASD Bootcamp, I do bootcamp coachings, which is something I do as a consultant. So that I've been doing for 2-3 years. I think like the teacher mode comes from there, and like you said, filling punchline comes from
your
8-9 years of stand-up.
Yeah.
So I think like everything fell
They
in place.
connect, yeah.
And Instagram with the increasing that time to 1.5 minutes is actually now that with 3 minutes I'm able to play around so much.
Wow.
Like until it was 2-3 months back, until it was 90 seconds, it was more difficult.
Yeah.
Now with 3 minutes, so much scope. And I think that's happening. What I'm noticing is a lot of my friends, a lot of comedians are now going viral, who are all like long format storytellers who are not able to put out their stuff as reels and stuff. One friend of mine, Anand Ratnam, if you know, is also a very funny guy. We tour a lot together. A lot of his reels are now going viral because people are embracing this longer 2 minutes, 3 minute stories.
Nice.
Where it used to be like 2, 3, 4, 5 years back, we used to think like, dude, we can't compete with these kids who are like putting out like stuff for 10 seconds, like one jing, jing, jing,
Yeah.
whatever. We don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Yeah.
We are not that.
Yeah.
What do you even, you can't even have the act one in that 10 seconds.
True.
People were competing left, right and center, but the pendulum always oscillates, right? Now it's coming back. That's why these things are working now. Probably like there was no way to do this probably like 4-5 years back.
True.
Even if I had the idea.
True.
Probably on YouTube it might have worked.
Yeah.
But YouTube now it's not working.
Yeah.
Like all these reels, like somehow I don't know, it's the algorithm.
Yeah, it's more Insta.
You can't help the algorithm and all. All you can do is like keep putting out stuff that you like and people find interesting. I think someday someone will start finding it interesting and it like explodes like crazy. But I genuinely feel like there is a resurgence of long quality
form
content over like
I'm
short.
hoping.
Yeah, definitely it is happening. I can see it happening. How even like you said, 14-15 years, the younger generation is going to be bored of this
Yeah.
30-second reels, dance, and all this. Whatever. I don't know what they do.
If you were to recommend someone as the next guest here, do you have someone in mind?
I'd say my close friend Suman Kumar.
Okay.
He's the writer of the Family Man web series, Farzi, Guns and Gulabs. I also assisted him in his directorial venture in Tamil, Ragutata, the movie, if you know. He's also a comedian.
Okay.
We started around the same time. He has been a great mentor to me for the last 10 years. He's probably your age, 40 something. That's not rude to say like he's your age. That's offensive to him if you get offended. So yeah, very interesting guy. Like a lot of my life perspective changed because of him.
Nice.
I still call him Mangalam Mama. He's like one older mentor to me. It might be an interesting choice.
Lovely.
So,
Lovely.
great writer, one of the best screenwriters in India currently. And people know Family Man, Farzi, Guns and Gulabs and all as a Rajan TK project mostly, but the backbone of the writing is
him.
Suman Kumar.
Hey, I actually follow him. Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Family Man is that guy that
Manoj
Manoj Bajpayee. Yeah.
Irfan.
This I have to cut it.
You don't know Family Man? You haven't seen Family Man?
I have seen.
This generation will get offended, I
Wait,
think.
he's this guy. He's
Cop.
got a double role, right? He's working, but he also has some CID
Double life,
or something.
not double role.
Irfan is dead, by the way.
Yeah, fine. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, thank you
She
so
meant
much.
Irfan Pathan.
Yeah. Who? Irfan Pathan is a cricketer, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, great. GK.
Well, thank you so much.
Cool.
Navin, it was a delight. Good friends. Can always call you, I think, going forward.
Sure, why not?
Yeah? All right. Well, thank
Cool.
you so much.
And thank you Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this episode. Next episode, Bombay, Bandra, whatever.
What Bombay Bandra?
I don't know why. For some reason, this is my impression of a Bombay guy.
So you want to bring... So you did the intro. You want to do the outro as well.
That's what I tried to do.
Do that. Subscribe. And
Oh, okay. We can probably do that as a thing. Like, subscribe. If you actually liked, if you actually don't like.
See, anything you do, no? I'm going to come back. Yay!
That's one thing I've been wanting to do.
That is so cool.
Follow and like when
Subscribe.
people follow and when people like. Because like every reel is like there is a different equation I'm trying to track. Some reels have like great shareability,
Yeah.
no follow factor.
Yeah.
Some reels like no one shares but everyone follows.
Yes.
So that's one reel I wanted to do. But this is something you have to both follow, like and subscribe. Like a real Bombay guy.
Thank you so much. Thank
Cool.
you.